Steven Spielberg presents Gremlins. Billy Pelser has a nice home.
Billy, is that you?
Yeah, Mom, it's me.
A nice job. A nice girl.
If you're not doing anything this Thursday night, maybe you'd like to go out on a date with me?
I'd love to.
And loving parents who are about to give him
You're gonna like this. No, don't shake it. We're gonna have to open it now. It won't wait till Christmas.
the most unusual gift he ever got.
What is it?
No.
It's your new pet.
Come on, Bonnie, be a good dog. My dad gave it to me.
But there are a few things to keep in mind. If you expose it to the light, you may hurt it. If you get it wet, it will multiply.
All that from water? They got wet?
Yeah, plain water.
And most important, no matter how much they beg, never let them eat after midnight. Because when they do, they change. They become clever, mischievous,
What's going on here?
and dangerous.
Gremlins, huh? Little monsters.
Right.
Hundreds of them.
Well, I don't know, maybe thousands.
They've been here too. Billy, what are these things? Where did they come from?
Look, I know it sounds crazy, I know. But in a few hours, you're gonna have a major disaster on your hands.
Gremlins, directed by Joe Dante. They'll be expecting you.
Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek. It ended before I was ready. Did the trailer. So anyway, welcome to Magnificent Mondays. The gang's here. Sci-Fi Quest is here already. Doing a quote from the film that we're doing, which is Gremlins, of course. Win Grace asks, I wonder if this Spielberg guy will ever go anywhere. Well, it shows potential, doesn't it? Particularly producing. Don't know about directing, though. And Josh Temple's here with his harpoon, ready, sharp and at the ready to get some mogwais. Sci-Fi says Gizmo Gaga. And they're all saying hello to everybody. And Sci-Fi is obviously going, Steve. Anyway, welcome to the show. Yes, this week on Magnificent Mondays, we're doing Gremlins. This is probably the last of my Christmassy themed films. For the time being. So yes, anyway, there it is. There's Gremlins. There we go. The Blu-ray. It's got both of them. Aidan were asking, my son was saying, are you going to do Gremlins 2? Probably at some point. Right, so before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos, drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you subscribed already. We're live on YouTube, so let me double check. We're live on YouTube, yes, we're live on Rumble, and we're live on X. Yes, we are. So anyway. So off we go. Right, let me get rid of that and get that ready. Oh, I'm gonna burp. Hang on. Oh, pardon me. Spielberg's never Sci-Fi Quest never heard of Spielberg. No, I ain't either. Did you watch the Gremlins animated show on Netflix? I think has it arrived? No, I didn't know it had arrived. I know it's they were on about it, but I didn't know it were ever finished. Is it? Let me check. Just let me check. It's like Secrets of the Mogwai or something like that, isn't it? Gremlins animated show. Let's have a look. Secret of the Mogwai, yes. Let's have a look. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. So, I didn't even know it was out. It came out middle of last year, didn't it, according to this? Yes. It launched on Max. It's on Max. That's why I haven't seen it. Oh no, but it's been the BBC iPlayer, so it might still be on there in the UK. But in the US, it was on Max. So no, I've not seen it. I've not seen it. Oh yes, Max. So no, I've not seen it. I didn't even know it was out. I knew it was coming out, but I didn't know it had actually arrived. Right, let's get on with this film, shall we? Everybody's seen Gremlins, surely. Surely, from 1984, directed by Joe Dante, who you may know from films like, Piranha and The Howling and The Burbs and loads of other stuff. What else? That other one, Inner Space. Oh, and lots of other films. Lots of other films. Directed by him, produced by Steven Spielberg. I think this was the first Amblin production, I think. I could be wrong. What else? At a budget of $11 million, it grossed $213 million at the box office. So it was a bit of a hit in 1984, even though it was released on the same day as Ghostbusters. Written by Chris Columbus, who obviously, still riding the wave from discovering the new world. And everybody says that, don't they? And obviously, he would go on to do Home Alone and Harry Potter and all that. He wrote Home Alone. Did he direct it? I don't know. I can't remember. But he would direct, the first two Harry Potter films, I think. Starring Zach Galligan in his first big role, I think. I think he was only about 19, I think, when he starred in this. And Phoebe Cates, who was a hot young starlet at the time. I think previously, a film before this was Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which I saw in the theatre. What else? Hoyt Axton, Francis Lee McCain, Polly Holliday, and many others. Dick Miller, Judge Reinhold, and a brief appearance from Chuck Jones. Music by Jerry Goldsmith. So that's all we need to know. Right. Anyway, yes, don't call me Shirley. Yes. Chris Columbus has been cancelled in the US, so that joke doesn't work anymore. Has it been cancelled? Why? What's it been cancelled? You mean Chris Columbus, the writer, director, or Chris Columbus, the discoverer of the new world, has been cancelled? Don't know. Maybe both. Maybe both. Anyway, right, so let's get on with the film. Obviously, we'll not just be playing it because I'll get into trouble. We'll be watching it in a series of stills. What else? May play the odd snippet, and I'll try and remember what I've learned about it. It's probably not a lot. Right, off we go. Right, anyway, is it going to come on? Let's see. Are you coming on? There we go. On it comes. Warner Brothers. By the way, this was Joe Dante's first studio film. He says his previous films like The Howling and Piranha. I think Piranha were a Roger Corman film, wasn't it? I think produced. I could be wrong. And The Howling, I think, were Avco Embassy, wasn't it? Which apparently went bust after that film. The Explorer. All right, they pulled down his statues and renamed his holiday Indigenous Peoples Day. Is that true? That sounds mental. But anyway. Okie dokie. Right, so we begin the film in Chinatown, which I think is just a backlot set of Universal or Columbia, or maybe they're the same, I don't know. But we meet Rand Peltzer. There he is. That's me there on the corner. Rand Peltzer. This is Hoyt Axton. And some nuns are taking his photo by the looks of it. There must be Hoyt Axton fans. So off he goes into Chinatown. It's a cool set, I must admit. By the way, remember, this was made in 1984, long before, digital set extensions and CGI and all that stuff. This is really there. Although we do have some matte paintings in it. So anyway, so he ends up, he's looking for a Christmas present for his kid. Apparently, in the early drafts of the script, Billy was supposed to be a lot younger. It's supposed to be around the age of the other kid that's in it, Corey Feldman, was about 13. It was supposed to be around about that age, but he got aged up in the script. So he could work at the bank. But he's still very childlike, aspects to him in the script. Anyway, so there we go. Anyway, so he meets this kid. We'll call him Short Round version 2. Which Piranha, 78 or 95 remake? 95 remake? I don't know about 95 one. The one in the mid-aughts, wasn't there? Did you mean 05 remake? The 78 one, obviously. I think the remake with Kelly Brook, that's all I remember it for, was directed by Alexandra Aja, wasn't it? Anyway, so Short Round version 2 takes him down to his grandfather's shop and says, "This is your grandfather's shop?" I said, "Yeah." And apparently that Chinese there, or Mandarin or whatever it's called, means gods and monsters, according to the trivia on IMDb. So it goes down. I'd be thinking, I'm going to get mugged here now. That's what I'd be thinking if I were Rand Peltzer. Right, so they take him into the shop. There's all these knickknacks about, of, can I say Oriental? Yeah, I'm not talking about a person, I'm talking about an area of Oriental origin. Let's have a look, see if we can see anything interesting. There's a bird there. Don't know what it is. And, knickknacks, basically. I bet there's something from Indiana Jones in here somewhere. There's got to be, hasn't there? There's got to be somewhere. I'm looking. And I can't see anything. Right, so he's looking round, but he doesn't see anything interesting. So he tries selling his grandfather. Don't ask me the name of the actor. I've forgotten. Let's have a look. Does it say in the cast list? Mr. Wing. Key Luke. Yes, I should know that, shouldn't I? I should know that. As Mr. Wing, credited as grandfather, although the character's name is revealed in the sequel. So there we go. The grandson is played by John Louis. Right. So he's saying, got lots of interesting things in here, friend. So he goes into salesman mode. And he says, but there's one thing you don't have. It's the, is it the bathroom buddy? I can't remember. I think it is, isn't it? Yes, it is the bathroom buddy. He tries to tell him his invention, because he's an inventor. Not a very good one either. But I'm still looking in the background to see if there's any identifiable knickknacks. So he tries to send the bathroom buddy, which has got a toothbrush and a tooth clip and all that stuff, and squirts toothpaste all over him. And he says, you get a bad case of dragon breath. And then he looks, and then it plays a gong because it's Chinese and it's all, racist. But never mind. But he's not interested. But then he keeps hearing this chirruping noise in the background. Sci-Fi Quest says, I remember they used the Richard Dreyfuss boat scene from Piranha 3D as a fake Jaws advert on YouTube, did they? All right. Yes, Piranha 3D, that's what it was called, wasn't it? And the sequel to that was Piranha 3 Double D, wasn't it? Which was crap. There you are. But Piranha 3D were quite good, but mostly for Kelly Brook. Anyway. Where was it? He keeps hearing this chirruping sound behind him. And so, what's that? But this is after he squirted himself with toothpaste, which doesn't look very appetizing. But he gives him his card. Ram Peltzer, incredible inventions for an incredible world, or whatever he says. But then he wants to know what it is, and we get his first glimpse at Gizmo. There's his ears, and he's singing away to himself. Ooh, I can't do it. I can't get that high. So he's singing away to himself, and he does that sometimes. I'm not entirely sure what a Mogwai is. I know Mogwai in, is it Mandarin, Cantonese? I don't know. Whatever language you want over there. Means devil or demon or gremlin, apparently. But my son was saying he'd read somewhere that they suggested they may be from outer space. Maybe it references it in the cartoon. I don't know. But anyway. So he wants to buy it. So he offers him $100 and he says, no, that's $200. So he's throwing the money down and old Mr. Wing says, Mogwai, not for sale at any price. There you go. So the young kid says, I'll deal with it. So he obviously steals the Mogwai from his grandfather, brings him out, gets the money, which he probably goes and spends on gobstoppers and lucky bags, whatever kids spend the money on, comic books, that sort of nonsense. He probably does. Probably won't give it to his grandfather. Anyway, So there you go. So he's got and we get a voiceover of him telling him the rules. Keep him out of the light, especially sunlight. Don't feed him after midnight. What else is there? Oh, don't get him wet, and don't feed him after midnight. The robot scene always made me smile. Yes, and the time machine as well that's in the background. But curiously, we did last week, didn't we, the time machine? Someone needs to start putting Robbie in things again. Yes, they do. And the time machine. Comics are not nonsense, lol. I know. I'm playing a part. Anyway, so he's telling him, don't get him wet, keep him out of the light, and don't feed him after midnight, because obviously Mogwais must have some sort of internal chronometer set for the local time, so they know what midnight is. I know they take the mickey of it in the sequel. I know they do. And Peltzer's smokeless ashtray. Yes, that's we're going to see that later, aren't we? I'm going to have to watch Gremlins 2 and see if that's in his store, the smokeless ashtray. So I haven't seen Gremlins 2 for a while. Anyway, but that's for later. Right, so off he goes. And then we get the opening titles. Din, 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 din. Is it, who's singing this? Is it, I forgot her name now. Oh, God, what they call her now? Darlene Love. Is it her singing this? The wife of Roger Murtaugh in Lethal Weapon. Don't know. But anyway, rocking Ricky Rialto there on the radio in Kingston Falls, USA. So a map painting, a cool map painting, the real. Well, this is it Culver City backlot? Is that what it used to be called? And then it became Universal and then Columbia or whatever. Columbia, then Universal backlot, which has been seen in many films and TV shows, probably most famously Back to the Future. There's the town hall and all that. But in this one, it's Kingston Falls, USA. They're not telling us exactly where it is in the USA. But let's say a nice map painting in the background showing the snowy landscape because it's Christmas. It's coming up to Christmas Eve, actually. So I've got Gremlins, and the kids playing in the snow. Obviously, it's all fake snow that's been brought in for the film. We're meeting some of the characters. There's the sheriff, and there's Corey Feldman under that tree. He gets got by Gremlins later. I don't know about him. He looks shifty, doesn't he? Right, this is a bit that annoyed the hell out of my stepdad when he used to watch this. Because he's in his Volkswagen Beetle, and for some reason it's frozen up, and it won't start, and it goes down to the back of it. It's all steam. Why's all steam coming out of it? Because it used to get my stepdad really mad. He says, Volkswagen Beetles are air cooled. Why would there be steam coming out of it? They don't have a radiator, basically. I don't know. I'm not very mechanically minded. Kingston Falls can't afford a snowplow. They've got one, haven't they? Mr. Futterman owns a snowplow. Don't you remember? It's Pennsylvania. Not sure where or when that's established. So could be in the novel. Oh, probably the license plates. Oh, let's have a look. We'll see. It could be in the novel though. They're a novelization, aren't they? Anyways, car won't start, which is a running gag. Here comes Mr. Futterman with his snowplow in the background. Sci-fi quest. Being very xenophobic, thinking, just American machinery is the best. But it's a Kentucky Harvester, that behind, that tractor. But anyway, so off he's got to go to work, and he's got to run now. We can't drive, so it can't be that far if he's running to work, but never mind. Here's a little Easter egg, A Boy's Life and Watch the Skies. Obviously, A Boy's Life was the working title for E.T., wasn't it? Steven Spielberg's E.T. And Watch the Skies was also an early title for Close Encounters of the Third Kind. So there we go. I think there's also some posters and stuff like The Howling and things like that in there, which I think we'll see later on. Let's have a look. I wondered if it would have pan and show us what this poster was. Maybe it will. Let's see. It's a poster for A Boy's Life, and over there's a poster for Watch the Skies. Anyway, so off he goes to work with his fake snow and cars with fake spray snow on them. Like that. But never mind, it's real. So off he goes. I expect to see Marty McFly on his skateboard, hitching the lift to school, waving at the people exercising in the wherever it is. Sapako says the VWP was very reliable till they break. Well, yes, that's the case with most things in it. I've never had one, so I don't know. Any road up. So off he goes. There we go with Barney in tow. I forgot to mention Barney. This is the family dog, played by Mushroom. And according to the director's commentary, the best actor, the best actor in the film. He loved it. He loved Mushroom. Who would go on to play Lance Henriksen's dog in Pumpkinhead, a film which I don't like. Shock horror. Right, anyway, there, a bit of product placement there for Burger King. Right, so it gets into work. Have I missed a bit? Hang on, is it might be coming up. Yeah, it's coming up in a bit. Right, so he gets into work. He works in the bank, and the cats open the door 'cause it's suddenly freezing. As soon as I start, just a minute. I'm gonna brain you. I'm gonna get one of them bloody things to close the door automatically. I need a spring. I need a spring on the living room door so it closes automatically. Anyway, so it's coming to work. There's Phoebe Cates as I don't know the name of her character. You know what? I've never even paid attention to it. What's the name of her character? Kate. There we go. I should remember that. Phoebe Cates plays a character called Kate. It should be easy to remember that, shouldn't it? Anyway, where are we? So, oh, crikey. Oh, it's gonna be one of those bloody nights. Directed by Joe Dante. There we go. Yeah, so he gets into work. Hang on, he puts his, if you notice, come on, get in. There we go. He's just tied up Barney underneath, and he puts his name thing out upside down because he's an idiot. Pretty much. Puts his clip-on tie on. She obviously likes him. The lovely Phoebe Cates, who you may remember, as I said, from Fast Times at Ridgemont High, and she also in that series called Lace, wasn't she? Which was also quite raunchy for its time, wasn't it? She liked swanning about in her underwear, basically. Anyway, so signing the petition. Will you sign this petition? The local bar, which I forgot the name of. I've seen this film about 8 million times. Local bar is the Mrs. Deagle, who's the local town Scrooge, wants to shut it down. She says it's a dive. Every town's got a dive. When did she change her name to Wallerbridge? Yes, it's Phoebe Wallerbridge, and she got ugly as well. She's not ugly as Phoebe Wallerbridge, but she's not far off. Anyway, says me, oil painting. So signing that. It says that's where my mum met my dad. He says it's where everybody's mum met their dad because it's a small town and they're probably inbred. Anyway, here comes Mrs. Deagle, played by Polly Holiday, with the head of her imported Bavarian snowman. And here's Billy counting out some money. I'm sure he gets it wrong. I'm sure he's counted this wrong, so he gets distracted. He says 40, 60, 80. Then he notices Mrs. Deagle coming. And then he says 200, and he smiles. And this woman's just standing there as though she's about to say, "Give me another 100 then." But we don't see that. My dad had one for a while, VW Beetle, I presume you're on about. The sound of the engine was always nice to hear. That good old 1.1 litre air-cooled engine, very unique. As I said, I've never had one. Never. What have my cars been now? Right. I'm going to go through my cars now. This is one about motors. My first car was an Austin Maxi 1.7, which I got from a car auctions, and it had no petrol in it, and I'd spent all my money buying it. And I think I had about £1 left, if that. I think I put like 50 pence worth of petrol in it to get me home. And then I had a Vauxhall Viva, 1974 Vauxhall Viva M-Reg. The Austin Maxi was a 77 Austin Maxi. Then I had a Datsun 120Y, which were a cool car, but very prone to rust. But it were a lovely little car. It were in a state as well. Behave! Oh, what a brain. Ooh. Get you. Yes, I know. Right. I'm going to show people how naughty you're being. Aren't we? You're being a naughty, you, aren't you? Yes. Yes, you are. Go on. Tell you, it's going to be one of those nights. Where was I? That's a 120Y. Then I traded that in and got a Volvo 343DL, which were a really good car, but again, prone to rust and electrical problems. But I liked it so much, I got a, yes, my cat. I got a Volvo 345DL, which were cool. Then after that, what did I get then? Oh, crikey. Then I got a, I can't remember. I think a Maestro, an Austin Maestro. Then I got, no, I'm lying. No, I got a Montego after that. Austin Montego, 2.3 litre, I think that was. And then I got an Austin Maestro. And then I got another Montego, which I crashed. And then what did I get after that? Then I got a Peugeot. I can't remember what it was. It might have been a 205. No, it wasn't. It was bigger than that. I can't remember. A Peugeot. It was red. It was red, and I can't remember which one it was. And that was a nice little car. And then I got. I know this is boring, but whatever. Hang on, Sci-Fi Quest saying my first car was a Peugeot 205 till it got wrapped round a telegraph pole and stuck on a fence. Crikey. Not with you in it, I hope. I hope you were all right. Speaking of my Montego, I think it was my Montego. Yeah, it was. That got stolen and left somewhere. The police says, we found your car. I didn't see a policeman at all. Reported it stolen. They just phoned up. We found your car. It's at such and such a place. All glue all over it. Bloody kids. Anyway. And then what did they have after me Montego? Then I've had, ever since then, I've had, whatchamacallums, Vauxhall Corsas. I've had 3. Yeah, so I've had 3 Vauxhall Corsas since then. So that's what I'm driving now. Anyway, so that was my car history. Where were we? Oh my, it's giving the wrong money to this woman as Mrs. Deagle arrives. And here she is about to be met by Belinda Belaski, who you may know from The Howling. And there's Dick Miller again. She's obviously behind on her payments for whatever mortgage, loan, whatever she's got from the bank. Mrs. Deagle is one of the owners of the bank, I think. And, but being a Scrooge, she's not going to give them any slack, even if it is Christmas and the kids are really hungry. And he says, now you know what to ask Santa for. And her husband's got a job, but he won't be paid for a couple of weeks. But, she's not going to give because she's a horrible person and she deserves everything she gets. She even pushes right to the front of the queue in the bank and complains to Billy that Barney's broken her Bavarian snowman. And he says, I'm sorry, I'll gladly pay you. She says she don't want money, she wants his dog. And she's with a stupid eyebrow penciled in. But she wants the dog, but she's going to kill it. Or him, should I say. She's going to kill the dog. There we go, slow, painful death. And Barney hears this and promptly attacks her. There we go, comes out from under the desk, all snarling and drooling, look like a savage beast. Oh, he's put his name thing the right way around, I just noticed. He goes for her. Hang on. And there go, basically attacks an old lady in the bank. And There he goes, "Arr, arr, look, attacking her." He'd be put down, wouldn't he? Why don't she say? Why don't she call the police? The police would go around to his house, take the dog away, and he'd be put down, wouldn't he? He would in this day and age. So I don't know what's going on here. But maybe it's different in America. Sci-Fi says it was in it and that was fine. I'm currently working on a 95 MGF 1.8 litre VVC original engine. I have no idea what that means. As a project, it'll be my summer car when it's done. Cool. I have no idea what that is. Oh dear. But good luck with it. Good luck with it. Anyway, so Billy, notice here, he takes Mushroom off screen and then comes back with Mushroom in his arms. Look, I don't know why. Is it a different dog, or did they just have to lift the dog up into his arms so it didn't look awkward on screen in picking up the dog? I don't know, but he apologizes, and he'd get fired, but apparently he's not going to get fired, and Barney's not going to get put down, which technically he should. But anyway, then we're in the bar. I forgot the name of the bar. Never mind. And we learn that Billy's an artist, a comic book artist, and that carries over into the second film, doesn't it? He's still like a graphic artist or whatever in at Clamp Towers, isn't he, in Gremlins 2? But anyways, drawn Mrs. Deagle as a dragon, and this is supposed to be Billy, and as I think as one of his comic characters. Apparently, they're supposed to make more of it in the original script. They would make more of it in being an artist, and at the end of the film, he was supposed to look all tattered. His clothes were supposed to be all tattered and look like one of his creations, but they didn't bother with that. This is where we meet Chuck Jones. There's the great Chuck Jones, who obviously from Looney Tunes fame and Tom and Jerry. There we go. So they even calls him Mr. Jones. But Judge Reinhold comes in and tells him, he nearly lost his job, but the manager, decided not to, it being Christmas, and he said, "I'd have fired you in a second." So he excuses himself, but he follows him over, and we learn that Kate's working there without being paid for some reason, but volunteering in a pub. It's very strange. What's his face? I forgot his name now. Gerald, Judge Reinhold, asks her out, and she rebuffs him and kind of makes out that she's Billy's girl, which she does end up being. Right, so he gets home. There's Billy. The running joke of every time they open the door, the swords fall off the wall. They have to put them back up. And his mum's in the kitchen cutting onions and crying and watching It's a Wonderful Life on TV. And he asks her, what's wrong, and she says it's a sad movie, which it is. It's a Wonderful Life. It's quite sad, isn't it? But it's still a good film. Right, so he's going to do the eggs. He says, what can I do to help? God knows what she's making. She's like cutting 80 billion onions. He's got all this stuff. There's only 3 of them live there, and a dog. But anyway, whatever. But she's doing something with eggs as well, using the one of Rand Peltzer's inventions that's supposed to, I presume it's supposed to crack the egg, and so that the shell doesn't go in the bowl, but obviously it all goes wrong, like so. His inventions never work properly. Eggs and onions, I'm guessing meatloaf. Yes, or Jim Steinman. Anyway, and then his mum says, "Oh, Dad's inventions, Dad's machines, they work so well for the first couple of weeks, and then never buy a Peltzer machine because they won't work after a couple of weeks. Made in America." Sorry, Win Grace and Josh and Josh Temple. It could be an omelette as well. Yes, a big omelette. I don't know what it'll be. Anyway, So there we go, use the sink. And then he asks her, what's wrong? And she says that Mrs. Deagle called by today and looking for, Barney and all that. But then Dad arrives. There's some kind of, they're a weird family. They're like a cartoon family. They're almost like the Simpsons, or what was that other one that were in the 70s? Wait till your father gets home. They're one of those sort of families. That's going back, in it. That's a deep dive. But where Billy's the only one making any real money. He's like, he's only like 19 or 20 years old. Obviously dropped out of school probably to go work in the bank to keep his family with the roof over their head. But Rand's living in this oblivious world that his inventions are going to change everything because he's a blithering idiot. But bless him. Even though probably in debt and everything. But anyway, it comes with Billy's present. Remember, Billy was supposed to be, 13, but they aged him up. So that's why he seems to be acting like a chuffing kid. Anyway. So it gives it a good shake. Is it a puppy? Oh, Christ. How old are you? How old are you? So, luckily, it's not, hermetically sealed wrapping paper. Basically, opened it and Gizmo were like dead in the box. But he opens it and we see Gizmo properly for the first time now. He opens it up. Gizmo jumps up and makes Mushroom, Barney, surprised. Apparently, Mushroom, the actor dog, were fascinated with all the Mogwai and Gremlins puppets, and he thought they were real, and he were fascinated by them. So his reactions are all genuine. So anyway, so this is where we get his first look with Gizmo's super long arms that he's got for this scene. His arms that come up, they're obviously longer than he's got, on the rest of it, because they're to make, his actual arms wouldn't have reached. So he's got separate arms here, but never mind. So this is his first look at him. There he is, bless him. Anyway, famously created by Chris Wallace and his company. Chris Wallace would go on to do. They did The Fly. David Cronenberg's The Fly. That was the Wallace company that did the effects in that, as well as The Fly 2. Chris Wallace directed The Fly 2, which we've done on Appointment with Fear. Anyway, Sci-Fi Quest says, we had crossed swords on the wall, but they never fell. Well, you're not the Peltzer household, are you? Maybe he got his arms from the same place as Ronnie Cox. Yes, he must have done. Anyway, what was I going to say? I'm going to say something. Oh, he's colouring. When we see him again, there we go. Apparently, his colour scheme was designed after Steven Spielberg's Cocker Spaniel. I think it was his Cocker Spaniel. His dog, anyway. I think they said it was a Cocker Spaniel. So that's why the colouring looks a bit like a Cocker Spaniel, because that's what they based it on. Anyway, so this is where we get a reminder of the rules. It's all cute. I think we saw actually hang on, there we go. Isn't he cute? There we go. We're going to see a quick shot of the big head. Are we going to see it in a minute? Might be in a minute. Hang on. No, come on, show us. Unbelievable. Come on. Bloody skip function's crap. Never mind. Anyway, whatever. When you see a close-up of the Gizmo's head and the other Mogwai as well, obviously they're not one of these little puppets. The close-ups is basically a massive 2-foot wide Mogwai head. If it ever shows us one, so they could have more detail on it and all that. So to lower the lights and all that, and tells them the rules: don't get it wet and don't give it a drink. Don't like bright lights. Sunlight will kill him. And whatever you do, don't feed him after midnight. As I said, obviously he's got some internal chronometer that tells him the time, in whatever time zone he currently happens to be in. But anyway, so there we go. So that's what he's telling that. Then they go to his room. I think he sleeps in the attic. because they hate him. Well, there's some more of his art on the wall, you see. A little bit of fantasy art or something there. Has got anything else in here, by the way, that we can identify? Not that I can see. Anyway. So, all right, he's playing this, is singing this song, is Gizmo. You know, that. And Billy's trying to play it on his keyboard, on his little Casio keyboard. Other keyboards are available. And he gets the last note wrong. So this is when we learn that Gizmo can play musical instruments. Because Gizmo shows him the right note. So they're clever. Barney's fascinated. He wants to eat him. Anyway, so there we go. So he puts the Santa hat on, and he says, "Look in the mirror," and bright light reflects light, and he falls into the waste paper basket, and so he retrieves him and takes him to the bathroom. Bright light! Oh, I'd drown the bugger. Tell you I would. So he's looking after him, and why is there a red light in the air vent? I don't know, but there is because you see it reflecting there. I don't know. Anyway, Josh Temple says no. A trident is needed for them too. Oh dear. So he's dealing with. He's got a little cut on his head, so he wraps loads of bandages around him because he's I don't know. There's some sort of more on his belly. I'm sure it's like special needs or something. I can say that because I've got a special needs son, so I'm allowed to. Anyway, so here he is dealing with him, and he's kind of cute. He's got his little sad face on his Gizmo, and giving it all that. So then he goes to they go to bed, and he's reading his comics with his dog, and then they go to sleep. More red lights. Is it supposed to be a heater? I don't know. Then he goes to sleep. He's having a yawn. Look, all cute. Right, next day, Billy's going to have a drink of orange juice using the Peltzer peeler juicer. We all know it's going to go disastrously wrong, and it does in a minute. So he's all ready. Look, it's going to work. Yay! The machine's working. Yay! No, it ain't. No, it ain't, because his dad's shit at making things and inventing things. Oh, dear. Almost looks like a shuttlecraft. It did a bit, didn't it? Or some, hang on, where are we? Or some, what this you mean, a shuttle, or some 60s building, not 60s, what do you call it? Like sci-fi. Oh, I'm trying to think of the artist now. That used to see on sci-fi books are like Harry Harrison or Heinlein or Asimov, and the covers on their books had futuristic buildings on it. It looks like one of those, doesn't it? That's what I'm trying to say. Sci-Fi Quest says, would Gremlins have been better if it was the R rating they originally wanted to do? Yes, it was originally supposed to be really dark, wasn't it? And but obviously, I think Spielberg wanted them to tone it down. But this film was one of the films, along with another one which I've forgotten at the time. Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. That and this film brought about the PG-13 rating, didn't it? But if they kept in some of the scenes that they were originally in the script, which we'll get to, it would have been an R rating. But they didn't. The family did up, and if it had got an R rating, it probably wouldn't have done as well, would it, at the box office? Any road up. So anyway, Corey Feldman's here now, dressed up as a tree. He's brought Billy's tree. Have they bought it, or has he just stolen it for Billy? Why is this 20-year-old hanging around with a 13-year-old? Whatever. As I said, originally he was supposed to be younger with Billy, and he's got a Road Warriors poster up. Look, so he's a Mad Max fan. Mad Max 2, the Road Warrior. It was just called Mad Max 2 in the UK. We never bother with that Road Warrior stuff. It was called The Road Warrior because Mad Max, the first Mad Max, were never released in America until after Mad Max 2 came out, apparently. So that's why it was called The Road Warrior in the United States. Anyways, watching this film with, is it Cary Grant? I think it's, no, not Cary Grant. Is it Cary Grant? No, it's the other one, isn't it? I can't remember his name now. Him anyway. I can't remember the name of the film. It said in the commentary. I watched it with the director's commentary, and they said what film this was called. Something to do with a lady. I can't remember. But anyway, this is where we see the big head on him. Oh God, what's his name now? Played Rhett Butler, didn't he? In Gone with the Wind. Blanking on names. It'll come to me. Windgrace says Feldman dressed as a tree would be the most sane thing he's done this century. Yes, it would. It would. Was it this same year, 1984, that he did Friday the 13th, part 4? Was it 4 that he were in? I think it was 4, wasn't it? Could have been, maybe not. I don't know. I might have been 85. So this is where there's a certain kind of guy, and that guy needs a certain kind of dame. And Gizmo's remembering all this for later. It's a motor racing film, and there he is watching it. Watching his motor racing. I forgot the name of the bloody actor now. Come on, Windgrace. Anyway, come on, show us Gizmo's big face. Come on, there we go. There we go. That's the big Gizmo. You know, it's a big model of a Mogwai, is that one. So they can get more, expression in his face and stuff. It's not one of the little puppets. It's a big one. So this is cool. Movie magic. I was just said to my son, because I was telling him all about it earlier on. It's movie magic. It's just special effects. Whatever. Anyways, it's over there. It's got a Twilight Zone, the movie poster. Because I think that was the year before, 83. I think it was, wasn't it? Joe Dante and Steven Spielberg both directed segments of that ill-fated movie. Which did well, but it was just ill-fated because of what happened during the John Landis segment. But anyway, so a poster there for the Easter egg. What's that up there? Can't tell. But he's got some comics. He's got some comics, Windgrace. Don't know what, though. Can't read it. Horrific or something, that says. Or does it say dorific? It looks like horrific. I don't know. I don't know if the actual comics are just made up for this film. Oh, sorry, my computer just tried to die. Just tried to. Like an attempt to dying. Oh, dear. Anyway, so it takes Pete, that's his name, isn't it? Pete, Corey Feldman. Takes Pete up to his room because, nothing dodgy going on. What's this one? Agar's Atomic. Hang on. Pest Control. Stop this destroyer. So I wonder if that's a reference to the there was an actor, wasn't there, in the 50s, and I forgot his name. I think John Agar, who were in a lot of 50s B movies, sci-fi B movies. Clark Gable, that's the fella, yes. Why did I blank on his name? Hey, I did say Cary Grant, though, didn't I? So I got the initials right, CG. That's probably why. Obviously, Cary Grant's North by Northwest and all that, isn't it? Anyway. So, looking at his comics. Where'd you get these from? Dr. Fantasies, whatever. But then he shows him Gizmo and says, yeah, meets Gizmo. There you go. Big head Gizmo again. Going, oh, cute. With his little nostrils flaring. So then he shows him because it's, it's a new toy. It's not a pet, it's a toy for Billy because Billy's some sort of, oh, don't get me started. Sticks him over to the table, dance for me, monkey, dance. Speaking of monkeys, which almost forgot. Well, I'm going to mention it later, but I'll do it now. The Gremlins that we see later were originally, they did try out a spider monkey in a gremlin suit to see if they could get them. And the one that they tested, the spider monkey, as soon as they put the gremlin head on it, it freaked out and started destroying the studio and throwing its poo everywhere and all that. So they decided to go with puppets instead. Anyway, so Gizmo's got to sing for his supper now. He's got to do as he's told because he's basically Billy's slave now. That's what he is. So he's singing away. And he says, "Can I hold him?" And then immediately knocks over the glass of water because Billy's just leaves things around that can just cause disasters. Didn't we watch something else recently where they tried a monkey? Yes, was it BSG? Yes, they didn't try a monkey, they used a chimpanzee, didn't they, in Muffet? And for some reason, I thought it was, I think sometimes it was a chimpanzee, and I think sometimes it was somebody like Felix Siller or somebody like that in the Muffet suit. But yes, they had a chimpanzee in it, didn't they, in Muffet? And they did try, I think in Close Encounters, they tried using like a orangutan or something, didn't they, for the alien at the end, but that didn't work. So it could have been that as well. Anyway, so he knocks water. There we go. No, hang on. There we go. Says, "Can I hold him?" Yeah. So he just straight away knocks up. Come on, get on with it. Get on with it. 'Cause you're an idiot. There we go. Of course, I'm stupid. Says, "Got water on Gizmo." So now Gizmo's going to start giving birth. Hang on, let's get rid of that. Sorry, was it BSG? Give up. Just doing. What was in that jar? Well, just mucky water. I'm wondering if it's the paintbrushes. I'm wondering if it's the paint that made them evil. Don't know. We also had the one in Batman Returns 2. Trying to think now. Did we have a? Yes, there were a monkey, wasn't there, in Batman Returns? Yes, there was. Yes, there was. Yes. Because he was scared of the penguin, wasn't he? Because they did a test, what they call it, a rehearsal with the monkey to hand the penguin a note, didn't he? The monkey. And fine in rehearsals, but then in the actual take, when they were full penguin makeup on, scared the crap out of the monkey, didn't it? Anyway. Meanwhile, Gizmo's giving birth now and firing out little balls of fluff. There we go. And we see them start growing. And this were cool, how they did this effect when you see it start growing in a minute. There we go. Start growing, see it's growing, you see. And I thought, I wonder how they did that. I've always wondered how they did that. And it's really simple. This is done. It's done with essentially it's a rubber balloon with fur like stuck to it. And it's actually going through a hole in the table. And they're blowing it up. They're inflating it from underneath the table, which is how they've done that. So there we go. Which is cool. Conan. Is that yes, Conan the Barbarian. There we go. Yes, and a mystery one there. DC, is it? Whatever. And some more of Billy's art. But yes, Conan. Moffat 2 was a chimp in BSG. His name was Evolution. There you go. There you go. Anyway, so the some more come out, which are obviously just little cotton wool balls that they just throw. Come on, some more comics. Then what else we got? The Art of Will Eisner. Science fiction. Don't know what that is. Another Marvel comic there. Can't make it out. And more of Billy's art. Anyway. Right, so there we go. They're starting to they soon grow, don't they? Maybe that's why they're hungry all the time. But here they come now. I don't know how big these are. They didn't tell us in the commentary how big these were, but they just filmed this one over and over again for the others that appear. But I'm guessing this is quite a big puppet, so they could get the nostrils going and all that. I'm guessing it's quite a big one. But we can see immediately that they're not cute and lovely. They are kind of cute, but they're not like Gizmo, are they? They do have a creepy edge to them, don't they? Then Pete says, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 new ones. Can I have one now? He says, I don't know. So he said, basically, no, you're not having one. There you go. Now can I have one? Look at poor Gizmo. Look, he's all sad. And it tries to bite Pete. There's one with a stripe, the like little mohawk, but tries to bite Pete. So, and then poor Gizmo is all sad. Look, he's crying. So he goes to tell his dad. I presume he just kicked Pete out now. We don't see Pete again now for a while. So I presume he said, sod off, Pete, go away. Sci-fi Quest asks, I always wondered if Gizmo eats after midnight, would he be an evil gremlin? That was the original plan, that he was going to turn evil as well. But Steven Spielberg said, no, we need a cute one. So we're going to leave Gizmo cute. But I don't know. Maybe he would. But they were evil to start with, weren't they? So why does Gizmo give birth to evil children? It could be argued all children are evil, maybe. I don't know. Anyway. This is the inside of my head, by the way. That's what it's like. There's clockwork stuff going off and at random. Just things are whirring. Anyway, so he goes to tell his dad. As I said, my theory is that the dirty water, the dirty paintbrush water is what made them evil. The toxins in the water from the paintbrushes. I don't know. So, like E.T., how he was the only good one. I don't know. Why were the other E.T.s evil? Couldn't really tell, could you? They just left him, didn't they? They just left him. But I don't think they were evil, were they? I mean, did they vote in Chancellor Palpatine as Emperor? Because we saw him, didn't we, in Phantom Menace? Anyway. So, he's here doing one of his inventions because he's a crap inventor, and obviously it's something that doesn't work. It's some sort of card dealer. But Billy comes in. What's that? Toxygen 30? Has it Toxygen 90? Infrequent use. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Something toxic. What's Toxygen 90? I have no idea. Anyway. All right, sure. But before he has a chance to tell him about what's happened to Gizmo and the others, he's going to show him his improvement to the bathroom buddy, which is a razor. E.T. R-rated. I read that the planned sequel for E.T. was that they were evil and planning to take out Earth with our E.T., the only good one. Oh, right, okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. But I thought they were good. I thought they were the kindly aliens who just came to Earth to gather a few plants. Anyway. And left poor E.T. behind. I wonder what his real name was. I've read the book when it first came out, and it may have mentioned it in that. I think it did, actually, what he were actually called. I don't think it mentioned it, but I think it said something like it were unpronounceable, something like that. Anyway, right, so obviously he's added a razor to the. So how does that razor come off the bathroom buddy then? And you do it, or have you got to hold on to the big awkward bathroom buddy thing and cut your face to ribbons? But he squirts. There we go. Squirts shaving foam, or is it cream? Don't know. He licks it off anyway, so it can't be shaving foam, can it? Otherwise, it'd be going like. Anyway, so it's something else that doesn't work properly. So he goes and tells him that the Mogwai multiply with water. Then we go and see him playing Donkey Kong. And he says, these new ones are different. Stripe seems to be the leader, the one with the little mohawk. Where are we? Hang on. Sci-fi says, so they would really need the shotguns in E.T., not radios. Lol, yes. Yes. I think he regretted that, didn't he, Spielberg? I think George Lucas probably talked him into it, didn't he? I think he regretted that in the end. But I think the version of E.T. that's on Amazon Prime Video, I think that's the original version without the radios. His name apparently was Zrek. Oh, right. So it's not like unpronounceable. Unpronounceable by me, because I can't pronounce anything right. Anyway, so they're playing Donkey Kong, and he says, they're different because they're all like hyper and they're not cute like Gizmo. But all he's thinking is dollar signs. They're just objects to be exploited. That's all they are. Capitalism. That's all it's about. And and Spike hocks up a loogie and spits it at Gizmo. Here we go. And I love the dog. It's a Barney mushroom. They were saying that if they just wanted a reaction, if they were stuck for something to add, they just look for a scene with Barney in it, mushroom, and his reaction would be perfect, which it obviously is. Great dog, and I'm a cat person, so there we go. So he's one, dollar signs in Rand Peltzer's eyes. Ka-ching! Anyway, during the night, they're all asleep. Look, and they're asleep as well, but not really, as we see, because one of them opens his eyes because they're all shifty. In a minute, room it's there he is. There he is. They're being up to no good. And then Billy wakes up. He hears Barney whimpering. So look at face on that. He's got a Ash from not Evil Dead, the other Ash. Ash from Alien smile, hasn't he? Anyway, Billy goes out and finds Barney all tied up in these Christmas lights, and he thinks it's Mrs. Deagle that's done it. It's obviously it's the Mogwai, the baddie Mogwai. And I think in the comments they said they did actually film a scene. It was either written and they filmed it and it just didn't look good, or they just didn't film it. I think they did. I think it said they did film it with the Mogwais luring Barney downstairs. Apparently they curled up in balls and rolled downstairs and lured him outside and ambushed him and somehow got him up in this position. But apparently they didn't use it. Maybe it just didn't look good. I don't know. No animals were harmed in the making of this movie. No other ones. Apart from that one. No, he's fine. I'm sure he's fine. So, there we go. Snowing 'cause it's Christmas, so they get him in. Any moment, he'd been a dog sickle. By the way, he made his mother recognise his mother from Back to the Future. So that came out a year later, didn't it? His mother played Lorraine Baines' mother, so Marty McFly's grandmother. So it's another connection to Back to the Future, isn't it? Not only the location. I'm getting pings on my phone. Who's sending me messages? Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Oh, it's my friend Marie again. She did this yesterday. And I told her, I said, I read your message out. I'll just reply to her. I'll just say I'm in the middle of a show. There we go. So she don't think I'm ignoring her. Right. Where were we? So he thinks it's Mrs. Deagle, and she's saying, "No, we can't accuse her of, we don't know." But obviously, it isn't. It's not Mrs. Deagle. It was the Mogwai. Another machine that doesn't work is coffee maker. Just makes brown sludge. And but he's oblivious. He says, "What's wrong with this?" Because he's an idiot. Right. So he's going to the school now. Is Billy with one of the Mogwai. You have friends outside YouTube, traitor. Yes, and where she's going, she don't need roads. So he's taking the thing to school for the science teacher. What was it? Franklin Roosevelt High School, I presume it says. I don't know, paying attention. Now, Mr. Hanson, check it out, because he's got like a full science lab in this high school. For some reason. So here he is, checking him out. Who plays me? Oh, pardon me. Who plays Mr. Hanson? Glyn Turman plays Roy Hanson. There we go. He's got a fascination with brains for some reason. There's a model of a brain there, and later on the desk, he's got another. What looks like a real brain to me, but it must be a model. I don't know. But anyway, showing him the mogwai. But then he's going to put a drop of water. He's must worked out just one pipette, one dropette of water makes just one pop up. Has he experimented with this at home? I don't know, but he does that, and then obviously it's skipping over the main bits. We're just seeing their reactions. But there we go. We end up with another mogwai. Hang on. It's painful. We're not Steve's only friends. I have no friends. Seems like we may need that harpoon after all to reel me in. Anyway. So they're being cute. See, they're knocking on the thing. Oh, look, oh, look. So he decides to leave one with Mr. Hanson. I don't know which one. Probably that one. I presume the new one, which apparently is called Earl, according to the novelization, which I've not read. I just read about it on the internet. On the Gremlins wiki. Anyway. So he's going to leave one of them with thingamabob. Right, so he's off to Dory's. Is he walking past yes. Dory's. Yes, that's the name of the bar, Dory's. And he's walking past, and Mr. Futterman's inside, being drunk, but it's closing time. So he's gonna drive home. He's Mr. Futterman in his tractor, snowplow, whatever the hell it is. But they talk him out of it because they're talking about gremlins and making things go wrong, and gremlins in the toasters and teeny tiny ones they put in your watch, and just like the ones in World War II, good old WWI, and all that jazz. And apparently, Gremlins. What's his face? Roald Dahl wrote a book about gremlins way back in the day. I don't know when. Hang on, I'm gonna have to check. Bear with me. Just bear with me. I should have checked I should have got all this before, shouldn't I? Roald Dahl. I've spelt it wrong. Gremlins. Oh, there you go. The Gremlins, book by Roald Dahl. I just want to know when he published it. I can't remember when he published it. It's 1943. Yes. I thought it was during the war, but I wasn't entirely sure. Yes, he published a book called The Gremlins back in 1943 about little creatures making RAF planes go wrong and all that. And apparently Disney wanted to turn that into a film. They got the rights and everything to do like presumably an animated feature. But it never happened. But there is. We have seen a gremlin in the cartoon, haven't we? Was it in a Looney Tunes? I'm sure we've seen one trying to make planes crash and stuff. I'm sure it was a Looney Tunes one. So I don't know if that were based on the Roald Dahl Gremlins. I don't know. Anyway, right from the Gremlin from Shadow in the Cloud. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know Shadow in the Cloud. Sorry, I'm ignorant. I'm an ignoramus. Anyway, so they talk him out of going driving home, because don't drink and drive, kids or old people. Don't do it. So he decides to walk. But Billy walks Kate home. There's Christmas carolers. I think we're supposed to see these later as well, but I think they cut it out. Later on, when we get to Mrs. Deagle, and she gets terrorized by the gremlins, it's supposed to be a scene where with Christmas carolers, and supposedly some of them, some regular ones, presumably these very ones, are singing outside her house. You'd think they'd know better, wouldn't you? It's Mrs. Deagle after all. And she chases them away because she's Scrooge. And then the next lot she sees are the gremlin Christmas carolers. But I think this is supposed to be a setup for later, which they ended up cutting out. But he's walking Kate home. And she doesn't celebrate Christmas. But we don't know why yet. We'll learn later on why. And same with Lincoln's holiday. Whatever happened there, but she don't celebrate that either. Or Lincoln's birthday, sorry. Anyway, but there we go. She's moaning at him because she doesn't celebrate Christmas and he's all that. But she said, "I'm just cranky." So he asks her out on a date. She says yes. So it's all cool. So he's got himself a bud now. He's got himself a bud. Oh dear. Looney Tunes had a yellow and blue and red gremlin thing. Oh yes, I knew I'd seen it. Way back in the day. Chloe Grace Moretz film from 2020. Honestly, I'd never heard of it. She has plenty of weird stories. Oh, right. I'll have a look for that then. Never heard of that Shadow in the Cloud. Anywho, so he's got a date with a hot chick. Who took her? I think she took her. She went topless, didn't she, in Fast Times? I think. Anyway, that's by the by. Meanwhile, Mr. Hansen's putting in overtime at school. What the hell's that in the background? I don't know. But anyway, is it Xena? He's going to take some blood from the Mogwai. There it is, and you know it obviously hurts it, and it's not happy. Look. Meanwhile, back at Billy's, they're watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and they're all scared. Hang on, do we see? Oh, that might be later. They're watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers. He's doing some art. I don't know. Is he drawing? I bet he's drawing Kate. It looks like it, doesn't he? He's drawing Kate because he's in love now, and he's having a sandwich with his Coke, regular Coke. Not what you should be drinking, which is Diet Coke, because, you know, there's like 80 million spoons of sugar in regular Coke. Diet Coke's just got aspartame, which is good for you. Hot chick, careful, you'll get cancelled. Yeah, whatever. He must have he's got a sugar rush going on, hasn't he? 'Cause he's got like M&M's there or something. Are they M&M's? Look like, not M&M's. The others. Skittles. He's got some Skittles there, hasn't he, by the looks of it? So he's got a massive sugar rush. Anyway, so he's drawing away. And there he is. All right, Gizmo's looking at some 3D pictures with his glasses on of something. I don't know. Pretty neat. And all the other gremlins are freaking out, and apparently they're hungry. So he says he looks at his clock, and it's not midnight yet. So he's going to get him something to eat. So he gets him a massive plate of chicken legs from out of the fridge. Just takes them, you know. They could have been there for a special occasion, for all he knows. You know, his mother will probably play Hummer with him. What else have they got in the fridge? They've got some Frankfurters and a big thing of milk, some booze. I bet that's Rand Peltzer's. And some other stuff. Because I'm from Yorkshire, all that I've got in my fridge is lard. Anyway, but that's by the by. Where are we? Diet Coke tastes like crap. No, it's all right. There's nothing wrong with it. Diet Coke just gives you nerve pain and cancer. Much better. Yes, much better than sugar. No sugar tax for you, Steve. No. Because I want cancer. Yeah. It's fantastic. Anyway, so he feeds them, gives them the chicken, and they start throwing it all about. Gizmo's disgusted. It looks very disgusted there, doesn't it? He goes, yeah, that's obviously a big Gizmo head. Oh, that was, and this is big Mogwai head as they're tucking into the chicken. Greedy little buggers. And obviously, you know, he offers Gizmo some, but Gizmo won't take it. You'd think they'd be like, you know, after midnight, he wouldn't be able to help it, would he? And he'd eat it and then turn evil. Or maybe he'd become a good gremlin. Don't know. But he doesn't eat it anyway. This is we get a clue now that it's after midnight. He looked at the clock, his alarm clock, and it said 11 something or other. But then when we get to the school in a minute, Because the skip function's crap. What's he got? Is that batleth or something on the wall there? Oh dear. Well, no, I haven't done that. But here we go. Right, so let's go back again. That's Mr. Hanson's sandwich right next to his brain there on the desk. As you can just see it there behind me. Comment. And you can see it's 2:20 in the morning, putting the overtime in, isn't he? Oh dear, with his brain on his desk. I presume it's a model. I don't think it's a real brain, is it? Because we see another one on another desk later. He's got brains everywhere, Mr. Hanson. Oh, pardon me. Diet Coke, you see. He says, all right, pal, we're calling it a draw now. So there you go. So he's going to go home. And adorable. And then as soon as he's gone, it wants his sandwich. And so it takes, taking his sandwich, look. Because it knows, it can tell time, it can see the clock, it knows it's after midnight. But according to Billy's clock, it was 25 to midnight, but it's morning now. And young Gizmo's going, oh no, it ain't, I'm lying. I'm lying. It's not. We're seeing that it's a different time, and then Billy's asleep and Gizmo's still watching Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And there we see the clock there. With his frightened look on his face, because I forgot his name now. Kevin McCarthy's running up to the screen saying, "They're coming for you." There he is. They're already here. Then it's morning. This is what's happened to the Mogwai. They have cocooned themselves. And so there we go. And he calls his mother. Says, "What's happened? What are these?" And then we hear Gizmo going, "Mogwai." So he knows what's that. He knows the score. And then they're saying, "Well, what happened?" And they said, "Well, did you feed them after midnight?" And he says, "Yeah, but I checked." And then he looks at his clock, because he's an idiot, you see. He's an idiot. He obviously never looked at his clock again to realise, it wasn't changing its time. But obviously they've just ripped the plug off. Why did they just unplug it? I don't know. Because they're little sods, that's why. So they tricked him because they're cleverer than him. Prequel we need is where he's a serial killer collecting brains. Yes, Mr. Hanson, yes. So he's got brains everywhere. So they go to the school, and we learn that the same thing has happened to the Mogwai. That to Earl. This is Earl, isn't it? The same thing has happened to Earl. It's gone into a pupil stage. As in, it has become a pupa. Not a pupil. He's a pupil, isn't he? So they're cutting it out of the cage. So it says inside is going through changes, lots of changes. Meanwhile, back at Casa de Peltzer, Mrs. Peltzer, does she have a first name? Probably, I don't know. Billy's mom is making gingerbread men. There you go, and making a hash of it by the looks of it. It's just pouring crap all over them. And then the phone rings, and obviously, it's another Peltzer invention where it's supposed to be like a cordless telephone. Who'd have thunk it? But it doesn't work, so she has to go and answer it. This is where we see he's at the inventors convention. And there we see that's Jerry Goldsmith, who looks, I think he looks right at camera. Is it here? There we go. That's Jerry Goldsmith, the composer of the film. They said the convention's great. So the competition's a bit more advanced than they suspected, or than they thought. And because there we see behind there's the time machine. Is that can you see? Oh, there we go. Because I think at this point the time machine were owned by, I forgot his name now. The fellow that owns everything, owns all the old memorabilia, has got a museum, hasn't he? Bob. Not Bob Burns. That doesn't sound right. No, I'm not thinking of him. Might be Bob Burns. Anyway, I don't know. Attack of the Gingerbread Men. Probably not voiced by Gary Busey, though. I've still not watched Ginger Dead Man or any of the other films yet. What was I saying? The Time Machine. Yeah, I think is it Bob Burns? No, it doesn't sound right. He owns lots of memorabilia. I think he's got a museum, and he bought it. The original time machine from the 1960 film was sold at auction for something like $10,000, and this fella took it around America as like a sideshow thing. Then it ended up in Florida, broken, and and Bob Burns bought it for $1,000 and took it back to wherever he lives, California probably, and had it restored and to its former glory. And that's the one that we're seeing here. And that might be him, might not, I don't know. But as we see in the next shot, as he's talking to his missus on the phone, cuts back to her, and then it cuts back to the convention. And hang on, let's. I think we see Steven Spielberg in a minute. Oh, give over. There we go. There's Steven Spielberg, the producer of said film. There he is. Apparently, he broke his leg, genuinely. That's why he's got a cast on. He can't see it. Never mind. But and I think this fella is just a behind-the-scenes chap. They said his name, but I've forgotten. Anybody else? Can we recognise anybody else? Let's have a look. Oh, Robbie the Robot there going past with some sort of sticker on him. Obviously, Robbie the Robot from the Forbidden Planet, or Forbidden Planet. Anyway, I don't know who he is. He's probably somebody super famous, but I don't know who he is. Old guy in the time machine is copying next week's lottery numbers. Yes, probably is. Anyway, I'm looking to see if there's anybody recognisable. He looks a bit like Jeff Goldblum, doesn't he? But I don't think he is. Steven Spielberg goes bombing past in the background. What's happened to Jerry Goldsmith? Has he shrunk? Is that is that his invention? Is some sort of shrinking machine? I bet it is. Anyway, then we come back to them, and then when we go back to Rand Peltzer, the time machine's disappeared, and they're looking round. Look, where's it gone? Somewhere high speed. Obviously, he's whizzing to the year 801,000 or whatever it was. Come on, who wouldn't if they had the time machine? Yeah, I would. Yeah. I'd go forward and get a sports almanac. Come back with it, like Biff did. Anyway, right. So he says bye. There. This is Belinda Belasky asking Mr. What's his face? I've forgotten his name. Mr. I don't know. Is it Mr. Anderson? Could be. No, that's somebody else. She's Mrs. Harris, right? But I don't know his name. Mr. Corbin, that's who he is. He's Mr. Corbin, the bank manager. And she asks, could you talk to Mrs. Deagle? And he's, oh, Mrs. Deagle. And then she walks in. And she pushes to the front of the queue because she's a horrible person. Zarfakwa says, I'd get the winning numbers for every rollover for a year. Be a bit suspicious though, wouldn't it? if you won every lottery thing for a year, you think they might twig that something is amiss. I mean, I'll just do it under a different name. Do each one under a different name and tick the anonymity box. That's what you do, wouldn't you? If that's still a thing, I don't know. I haven't done the lottery for yonks. Anyway, so she's gone in to pay a check into her bank account, and she's asking where the dog is, and he's saying he's on vacation. Rand Peltzer has taken Barney with him to the convention. Forgot to mention that. But so there we go. Right, we're at school now. Hang on, where are we? This is I forgot his name now. Is it Frank? Is it Rick? No, I can't remember. We've been in a lot of sci-fi films in the 50s, but this is like a school educational film about hearts and stuff like that. So inside it's beginning to stir. Look, dun 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 dun. So they're starting to hatch. They are emerging from their cocoons. Speaking of the lottery, though, it's likely rigged anyway, probably. I don't know anybody who's won the lottery. Don't know. My mate nearly did, except he didn't put the number on. Not the whole one, but apparently, he'd picked his numbers but didn't get round to going to the shop to do them. And his numbers came up that week. Not the massive not the jackpot, but the one, what is it, 5 numbers and a bonus or whatever, the one that's next to the jackpot. He wasn't a happy bunny, let's put it this way. Anyway, back at Billy's house, they're emerging from the cocoons there, and poor Gizmo's scared to death. But anyway, so there we go. The box throws itself to the floor, and the bell goes, and he says to everybody, "Okay, go away, Merry Christmas, blah, blah, blah." I think it's supposed to be Christmas Eve now. Why are kids at school on Christmas Eve? Don't know. But I don't think I ever went to school on Christmas Eve. I don't think I did, anyway. So he's sending them away. So there they go. He's got to see what's gone on, and it's emerged and run off as the mogwai. So he phones Billy, tells him what's happened. It's hatched. Poor Gizmo's terrified. So Mr. Hanson's looking for it now, and is this? Oh, they said this is a mistake. Apparently, I don't know anything about projectors, but they said apparently this projector's running backwards. So I presume this you put your film on the front there and run it to the empty reel at the back. I'm guessing that's what you do. But apparently this is running backwards. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe could you run it backwards at high speed to rewind the film like a cassette tape? I don't know. But anyway, but notice he turns it off. Look, he's turned it off. But then later on, we see it's turned back on again. So anyway, so he's looking for the mogwai. Obviously, he doesn't know what it's turned into yet. But we can hear it moving about and skittering, and it's all creepy. It turns back on again. So it turns the projector back on again. Sorry, I didn't notice that. There it is. It's turned it back on. But it's under this desk, and he's trying to lure it out with the Snickers bar. Were there still Snickers in the UK in 1984? Or were there still marathons then? I'm going to look that up now. Right. When did marathon become Snickers? Right, let's have a look. 1990. So there you go. So, but you in America were eating Snickers bars. In the UK, we were eating marathons. So there you go. Anyway, and it grabs his arm and starts, it starts eating him, presumably. But it doesn't. It doesn't eat him. Right, so Billy arrives. That's all we're seeing there. Billy arriving. That's not Billy. That is. Billy arrives at the school, and there the projector playing backwards apparently finishes. Maybe they've done it that way. I don't know. But Joe Dante says, "Oh, it was a mistake." You think he'd know better? He's a filmmaker, but maybe it just looks better. Maybe it's they wanted it to be doing. Where are we? That to get that look. But anyway. Sci-fi Quest still marathons, yes, in my mind. Billy, don't be a hero. Oh God, who sang that now? Can't remember. That's going back a few years. Anyway, let's run out. So it goes in. More brains. Look, it's obsessed with brains and eyes there, but more brains. And there he finds Mr. Hanson with a hyperdemic nurdle. Yes, I said that. I meant to say it. In his bottom. Originally in the script, we were going to find him face up with lots of hypodermic needles in his face. But they thought that'd be a bit much and it'd get him an R rating. So they just went for one in his bum. Paper lace. Yes, that's the one. Hell yeah, that was 70s, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. So is he dead? I don't know. Does anybody die in this film? That's what my son were asking me. But we were talking about it. I says, I don't actually know if anybody dies in this film because it's never really laid out. We can, because we don't see dead bodies lying about. So people might get hurt and all that, like Mr. Hansen. But does anybody actually die? I don't know. It doesn't say. It mentions riots at the end of the film. But anyway. So he goes to the phone. Hang on. He goes to the phone. He sees Mr. Hansen lying there, prone, perhaps dead. So he's going to use the phone on the desk. As you see, there it is. And as he grabs the phone, a gremlin hand appears. Months later, it was a US hit for Bo Donaldson and the Haywoods. Okay. Never heard of them. Never heard of them. Of course, I'm not from the US. So we go. It's been scratched by a mogwai, gremlin, whatever. They should have it, shouldn't they? If you're bitten or scratched by one, you become one. You should turn into this giant gremlin. Maybe that would be the sequel. So there we go. More brains. By the way, this brain moves about the desk, as we'll see. By the way, there's no dial on that, so you obviously had to pick it up and ask the operator to get the police or whatever, because there's no dial, is there? But anyway, I presume that's a model brain. It doesn't look real, does it? But it does move about, as you'll see. There you go. It's just moved by itself. It cut away back to Billy and then went back to the desk. Obviously, a bad continuity. What's it doing? Oh, it gets that's what it's doing. There were an apple or something on the desk. Hang on, let's go back. Come on, showers. It picks an apple up off the desk. There you go. There's an apple there on the edge of the desk. And yum, yum. But it doesn't like apples. So it throws the apple away and decides it wants to have a go at these test tubes. By the way, this moves again. Next time we see it. There we go. Different position again. And it crunching on the glass saying yum yum. So it preferred test tubes to an apple. But then it breaks through the vent, leaving its little demonic paw marks on it and scurries off into the ventilation system like a little green big-eared Bruce Willis. Anyway, where were we? Wingrace says, well, as we all know, riots are fiery but mostly peaceful. Yeah, mostly peaceful. Hey. If it was Kurtzman Trek, he would be pregnant with baby Gorns. Yes, he would. He would. I like Strange New Worlds. But the Gorn are rubbish in Strange New Worlds. Right, so he goes to the first aid room. And the school's closed now, aren't it? They've all sodded off, but the school's, for some reason, still open. Why aren't they like a caretaker saying, what are you doing in here? Don't know. Anyway, this is where we get his first look at a gremlin now, as he's wrapping up his hand. Remember, he practiced earlier on Gizmo, so he knows what he's doing. But then there we go, get his first proper look at a gremlin. There we go. That's Earl, by the way. And we don't know what happens to Earl. It's the last we see of him. He throws something at Billy, and then it scurries off. Hang on. It scurries off into the school somewhere. And we presume, we don't know, it never says, that it ends up with all the other gremlins later on in the movie theatre. And, it spoilers, it dies with them there. But we don't know. It could be still at school for all we know. For all we know, I don't know. They should have done an after credits scene where we see Earl still lurking about, shouldn't we? Anyway, I still wish they'd gone with Tholians. I wouldn't have minded Gorns if they just did them right. But anyway, I call the Magorn the hybrid of the Gorn and Andromeda's Magog. Oh, okay. Okie dokie. Right, so off it goes with it trailing some bandages behind it for some reason because it thinks it's a mummy. Anyway, right, so back to this is the scene now from the film where Mrs. What's her name now? What's her name? Lynn, where Lynn Peltzer shows that she's a badass. Oh, pardon me. And a bit psychotic to boot. So she's in the kitchen. She's obviously finished off her whatchamacallits, gingerbread men. Gingerbread people. Sorry. Then she hears a noise somewhere. There you go. She hears a noise. Oh, right. She is upstairs. They're getting Gizmo. They've tied him to a dartboard and they're throwing darts at him. Poor Gizmo. Apparently, the crew that did all the puppeteering and all that, the Chris Wallace crew, asked for this scene because they hated working with them because they were a pain. So they thought, we want a scene where we can throw darts at poor Gizmo. It's all good fun. So she hears that noise. By the way, they throw Gizmo down the laundry chute. But oh, there he goes. They throw it. Have they done it? There we go. Throw him down. Gizmo, caca. So they throw him down the laundry chute. She's going up to check what's going on. Poor Gizmo stuck in there. Hello, Mama. She's going to check what's happening. And she sees they've hatched. And then the phone rings. Hang on. Sorry, you're talking amongst yourselves in the chat. Sorry, which is fine. Where were we? The phone rings and she answers it, and it's Billy, and saying, "Mom, get out of the house. They've hatched and everything." And she says, "Yeah, I can bloody see that. I've been hearing noises, and Gizmo's disappeared." She doesn't say that. That's me. But in the middle of the call, the Gremlins, who obviously know all about how telephones are wired up, and they know exactly where the telephone cables run, whatever box. They obviously can read Bell system, so they know that that's the phone line, and they phone home, caca. So that's another ET reference in it, and they go rip it out. So the phone's disconnected. So, and then it comes on now. Sci-Fi Quest's favourite line in the film. Hang on, where it's go with the back up. Go all the way back up. Here. There we go. That starts playing. Go back down again. Scroll back to the thing. Sorry, not all of us are blessed with friends outside of YouTube. I ain't got any friends anywhere, me. I'm a lonely old man howling into the night. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. Johnny Mathis starts singing. I think it's Johnny Mathis. So she goes down to investigate that. Meanwhile, Billy comes running out of the school, and there she's playing the phonograph, as they described it in the in the commentary. Saying, if you don't know what that is, it's a phonograph. So the record player playing a bit of Johnny Mathis, but it's not When a Child is Born blaring out till all hours. Sci-Fi Quest might know that reference. So she turns that off. And then something gets thrown at her. So she goes to investigate, and we get another spooky shot here of a shadow watching her. And so this is where we get like a hero shot now of a gremlin eating a gingerbread men. Let's make sure we're still going. Make sure we're still going. Because I've been playing clips, haven't I? And sometimes get a bit upset, don't they? No, we're fine. We're fine. I'm just checking the other platforms, make sure they're not leaving any messages. Right. Anyway, Wingray says, "Are they sure it isn't a gramophone? A gramophone? Got no gramophones here, Granddad." Another, not the 9 o'clock news reference. A ray of hope flickers in the sky. That's my Johnny Mathis impression. Anyway, it's eating the gingerbread men. Ow! Sorry, I got my leg stuck then. And then she sees it, and she's like, "Oh, crikey!" And then there's a bit of reverse footage now, which I'd never noticed. If they didn't say it in the commentary, I'd have never noticed. But now it's really noticeable. So I'll see if we can. There, the ears are. The ear goes up, and it carries on. Come on, show us the reverse footage. If I do the skip, it'll just skip straight over it because stupid. There we go. This is actually in reverse. It's noticeable when the way she blinks and moves her head. Well, then she looks, and apparently they had to do it because the only way to get that shot of it putting its head in the mixing bowl, they couldn't do it right. Just putting it for some reason, so they had to start with it in the bowl and take it out. So that's the only way they could do it. So there you go. So there she looks like she's got robot eyes when she blinks because it's in reverse. Anyway, a tiny star lights up way up high. I'm no Johnny Mathis, I know. Yes, yes, I know. Yeah. When a child is born, blaring out to all hours, the production on that album is amazing. It's a gorilla called Gerald. If you look it up on the on YouTube. Anyway, so it's got its head in the mixing bowl. It's not a mixing bowl. It's like a blender mixing bowl thing, whatever. So there we go. She turns it on, and there we go. It's first gory scene of the film. Yeah, cool. In the Peltzer, whatever that says. Peltzer mixer killer, whatever. That worked, didn't it? Peltzer should make things that kill gremlins. That should be his raison d'etre. The impression is so good, you risk copyright. Yes, I better check Anton, make sure. No, we're fine. We're fine. Oh dear. So there we go. I think that's another probably the same shot they just repeated. Then another one appears and starts throwing plates at her. We see this one again later on. I think this is the same one that the sticker. They got a thing on. They use this again for when it's throwing the saw blades at Billy later on, apparently. But this one's throwing plates at her, so she goes at it with a knife and says, "Get out of my kitchen!" And there you go. And she just stabs it to death, except she doesn't stab it to death, as we'll see in a minute. Which I'd not noticed before. I've seen this film uncounted times. I'd never noticed it before until today. So she's stabbing away. And then this one behind her, this throws something at her. She turns around. There's another one near the microwave. So she attacks that with some sort of spray. But if you're watching in the background, as she's spraying this one, the one on the counter there that she's just stabbed is actually not dead. Well, it's still writhing in agony. Poor thing. I feel sorry for that one. I feel sorry for this one and all, because she's just going to murder this one. Puts it in the microwave and blows it up. Oh, the flea and tick killer. That's what she sprayed it with. Mate. Who are you going to call? Peltzer, yes. So this one blows up. Oh, for God's sake. She's watching. For some reason, she just reminds me of somebody I've seen in another film, but I'm sure it were a bloke. But I can't bring it forward. Not this bit in a minute. Hang on. There we go. That blows up. That were done with an air ram from underneath. They had like a hollowed out, like, whatever they made it of. What they call it? Whatever they make rubbery things out of. A hollow thing, and then that blew up, bits of stuff into it. That's how they did that. They didn't actually microwave a gremlin. This here now, where she gets two knives, and then the way she looks here now, she just like stares there. Oh, I know what she reminds me of. I know who she reminds me of. That look. I forgot his name. Eugene Toombs from the X-Files. Remember him? I don't know. It just reminds me of him. Is she going to go into an air vent now? She's going to stretch. There was the episode, wasn't it? Stretch and Toombs. They were in 2 episodes, wasn't they? Just reminds me of him. Just the look. I think it's just the look. Anyway. Peltzer Pest Control. Gremlins in your kitchen will get them. Yes. Get there before Wallace and Gromit's Pest Control. Anyway, so off she goes, looking for more gremlins to kill because she's got the bloodlust now. The red mist has descended and she's on a rampage. Look, proper psycho. That's what happens when you're married to Rand Peltzer for 20 years or however long she's been married to him for. It's driven her mad, and it's coming out now, finally. Anyway, so she sees movement in this, so she must think there's like a mini gremlin in this sock. Yes, gremlinicide. Yes, or gremlincide. So she murders this sock, but it's just a robot. But then, there you go, we see sort of red eyes of a gremlin. They've got glowing red eyes, just for the purposes of this. Apparently, you can see the fella operating it behind. So I'm going to go through this bit, 1 frame at a time, because I missed it first time round. So we're just going to go through it 1 frame at a time until I see the man operating the gremlin. Apparently, he's got a red shirt on or a red T-shirt. I'm sure they said that. Just play it again. I think it's when the tree goes over, I think we just get a glimpse of him. That's what they said anyway. They could be lying. Because I've never noticed before. The tree's coming over. Come on. Maybe that there? Is that his arm? Could be. Oh, there we go. Yes, there he is. It's Santa. But there he is. There's the fella operating the gremlin from behind. There we go. There we go. Red T-shirt on, look. Movie magic. Just thought I'd point that out. Never noticed that before either, to be completely honest. So this one's attacking her. Have you done arachnophobia? Are you planning to? I haven't seen that for a while, actually, arachnophobia. We've got the DVD somewhere. My son might have it upstairs. Perhaps it's Q. Which Q are you referring to? The Star Trek Next Generation Q or Major Boothroyd from from James Bond? Could be either. Anyway, it's attacking her, and but Billy's on the way. He comes in. Here he is. Right, sees his mother being throttled by a gremlin. By the way, I think we'd seen Stripes. Stripes got, for some reason, he's got into the box, that they brought Gizmo in, and he's watching from there. But Billy gets the sword. Hang on. And shouts, "Hey!" And it looks, because they're curious creatures, and he chops its head off, and its head goes in the fire, because so he's got his, his mother's bloodlust has obviously, passed over to him. Is it attacking her, trying to make sweet love? Well, you see, we don't know. We don't know the mating rituals of the gremlin, do we? Of the mogwai. By the way, I think, is it in here? Let me check. Where are we? It says somewhere. I've seen it somewhere. As I've said, mogwai, I think, is an actual thing from Chinese folklore, like a demon or a devil. And I've seen it somewhere. It said in Chinese folklore, it mentions that, there we go. In Chinese culture, the mating season of the traditional mogwai is said to be triggered by rain. So maybe that's where they got the idea from. So there we go. Anyway, so look, she's got scratches all over her. Look, as poor mother, and there its head's on the fire, screaming. And obviously, Stripe's not happy. He's looking angry, so he blows his nose on the curtain and jumps out the window and scurries off into the night. Meanwhile, this is the local doctor who just putting their trimmings up on Christmas Eve. It's 1984. Nowadays, your Christmas trimmings go up in like October, don't they, for a lot of people? They do. But anyway, takes his mother. Says, look after me, mum. She's had an accident. I'm going off to kill more gremlins. And she's like, he's got to hold her back. She's like, no, I'm coming with you. I want to kill them all. And he says, no, the doctor will look after you. I think that were a deleted scene. Anyway, he hears Gizmo, and he finds Gizmo in the laundry chute. And bright light. No, I said, shut up. That's what I'd said to it. So he puts him in the bag, and apparently the filmmakers, the Wallace crew, loved the what do you call it, the Gremlin rucksack, because it worked amazingly well. Apparently, it had like a radio controlled gizmo in it, and it worked really well. And they just used it as often as they could because it was easy. So they said, "Can we just use the gizmo in the rucksack here?" So they'd use that as often as possible. Oh, pardon me. Wingrace says, that's my biggest issue with all these movies. People are always getting their tree and decorating on Christmas Eve. Yep. I think my brother once said he used to get his tree out on Christmas Eve and put it away on Boxing Day. It doesn't now, like, but I think when he was younger he did. An accident. She was attacked by a Chinese demon man. FFS. For flip's sake. Anyway. Yeah. But, you can't tell that to the doctor, can you? You can't say she was attacked by a Chinese demon, which, we're trying to make it rain. Anyway. Right, he's on the phone. He's still at the convention. Don't know who this fella is. He's still lurking about. He were in earlier on. And Jerry Goldsmith has changed for some reason into Robbie the Robot. And he's doing quotes from Forbidden Planet. Thick and heavy. Would 60 gallons be sufficient? I rarely use it myself, sir. It promotes rust. I love Forbidden Planet. It's a great film. Anyway. So he's phoning home. So he's on his way home soon. Meanwhile, Billy's got a gremlin tracker. I don't know. Is the footprints in the snow? It might show us. I don't know. But it's... Oh, yes, it does. He's following footprints in the snow. That takes him to the Kingston Falls YMCA. Which is actually the front of the studio, what they call it, the studio stage. It's actually the front of that, and they just built this onto the front of it. But the inside is actually a pool that is nearby in the, what they call it now? I forgot what they call it now. The Universal Ranch, something like that. They call it. I can't remember now exactly. I think they call it the Universal Ranch, where there's like buildings and stuff. The neighborhood and that's filmed at the Universal Ranch. But apparently there were a pool there. So I'm guessing it was like an open air pool, and they said they built a set around it. So that's what I'm guessing. Anyway, where were we? Sci-Fi says, when will we have a 3D holographic Christmas tree and decks would save time and space? Yeah, it would. It's coming. It's coming. I bet somebody's got it work. I bet all you buy is a little base and you just switch it on. It just, that'd be amazing, that, wouldn't it? That'd be amazing. But then it'd take all the fun away from putting the stuff on your tree and all that. That's half the fun, isn't it? At least for me, anyway. I have nothing better to do with my life. Yes, Elon, probably. Does Elon celebrate Christmas, by the way? I don't know, does he? I don't know what religion he is. Not that you need a religion to celebrate Christmas. It's not the Christmas tree, obviously, yeah. Anyway, right, so he goes in, smashes the window and unlocks the door, or whatever, or unlocks the door, whatever, through the window that Spike had smashed. But he's still got the sword, look. This is actually a set that is just that. It's just those two walls. But they just needed it for just this, for just that shot. And this is When Spike comes flying out here, it was done with an air ram. The special effects company that did this, the special effects supervisor, I've forgotten his name. Just bear with me. I'll look it up. Hang on, where are we? But apparently, he's been in the business for like forever. I'm gonna have to look it up. Cast and crew, all cast and crew. I've forgotten his name. I'm sorry. I'm an idiot. Special effects supervisor. Bob McDonald Senior, with a special effects supervisor. Is it gonna? Where's his name? Why ain't he in the list? I've seen him. He's in the bloody credits. I've seen him. Right. Well, hang on. I'll type it in. I think they were on about him anyway. He's been in the Biz. Bob McDonald Senior. Special effects. No, that's somebody else. No, it must be him. Is it? Yes, it is. Yes, right. Bob I think it is him anyway. Credits, right? Previous. Oh, I pressed wrong button. Not it. Just bear with me. Maybe it's not. Yes, it is him. According to the director's commentary, the fellow that did the special effects, like, the on-screen, not the visual effects, the special effects, stuff like the gremlin exploding in the microwave, stuff like that. And this one that we're about to see, Bob McDonald Senior, he was the supervisor. Apparently, he's the only behind-the-scenes person that worked on both the silent version of Ben-Hur and the Charlton Heston version of Ben-Hur. So he's been in the business that long. Born in 1912. When did he die? 1989. So not long after this film came out. But he worked on other films as well. Howard the Duck, Superman, Enemy Mine. That's it. He's done some amazing films. But what else has he done? Heaven Can Wait, Outlaw, Hosey Vales. What a flick. Doc Savage, Man of Bronze. I say he's done loads of stuff. Longest Day. And I say Ben-Hur. But he just mentions the 1950s version. But according to the commentary, he did actually work on the old silent version of Ben-Hur. But anyway, so there we go. That's just a bit of trivia. For you. Gone the wrong way. Never mind. Right, where were we? You'd have to have a subscription to turn the tree on. They'd have extra payments for licensed ornaments. Yes, you would if it were a Christmas tree. Yes, Xmas tree. Yes, I bet that. Yes, sorry, Xmas tree. Why didn't I think of that? Yes, I'm sorry. I've just got it. Hang on. Oh, never mind. I've just got the reference. Xmas tree. Yes. Soundbite question says, I remember watching a documentary about wallpaper that is a screen a while back. It's coming. Anyway, they used an air ram to fire out a model of Spike. It's supposed to basically just leap out at Billy, but the air ram went a bit wrong. It was basically a wooden broom handle, with the Spike puppet on the end of it, and they fired it, and it fired it that powerfully that the broom handle just went straight through the model of the gremlin, across the room, and embedded in the ceiling. So that to do it again. So there we go. So here it comes. Oh, for God's sake, stop doing that. So they obviously had to lower the pressure. Anyway, it comes out. It hops up to... it's done it already. It hops up to Billy, scratches him on the chest, impregnates him with its spores or something. And then hops, there we go, into the swimming pool. And down it goes. Look. Anyway. Spike, now we're watching Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Yeah, bloody puppet. Anyway. So now all hell's going to break loose now. So they're having all the bubbles. It's a big jacuzzi now for the Gremlins. Obviously, down there is they're just multiplying now, aren't they? Like crazy. It'd be never ending, wouldn't it? It'd be never ending because as soon as I mean, it's wide. I don't know. Never mind. I was saying, but do they just come out as little gremlins and then grow really fast? They must do. And then if they're in the water, then they start having baby gremlins straight away, wouldn't they? And it'll be all Anyway. Anyway, so we know lots of gremlins are coming now. And they're all born. They must all be born intelligent, and knowing what to do because they don't go to school or learn anything, do they? So, anyway, so Billy goes to the police. And apparently, this police, the fellow that plays him, the sheriff, really ill. I can't remember his name. Sorry, you know what I'm like. Sheriff. Where is he? Scott Brady, Sheriff Frank Riley, and there we see Jonathan Banks, from Breaking Bad, and Better Call Saul as Mike. Obviously, also in Beverly Hills Cop, played a baddie in that, didn't he? But Scott Brady was apparently really ill. Apparently, he's been in movies for forever, and he'd done a film. I think it said done a film in the 50s where he'd been on the set that had loads of asbestos, and he breathed it all in, and it had knackered his lungs. And they said this set we're actually up a flight of stairs, and it took it out of him. But said he didn't complain because he was a trooper, proper actor, just got on with his job. But they could see he was struggling. But you wouldn't know, would you? You wouldn't know. That's just another bit of trivia. Anyway, so they don't believe him that there's these little monsters that are going to be running around the town. There's going to be thousands of them. And so he shows them Gizmo in a minute. But meanwhile, we're going to have a bit of stop motion. Here we go. All the gremlins are going to appear. I don't know who did the stop motion for this. I should have checked. Stripe Gusto. What? Is that what he says? Anyway, they all come hopping and leaping out. And apparently one of the lights goes out. And I don't know which one. So we're just gonna go through it. One of these lights goes out. Because when they were animating them, these must be real lights, or maybe that one, I don't know. But it goes out. And they didn't notice until afterwards. I think it blew. Oh, it's gone off now. Go back again. Which light goes out? Well, none of them go out. Is there a change in the lighting? They said the light went out, but I didn't see one go out. I'm going to have to play it again now. I don't see a light go out. They said the light went out, so they added the sound as though the Gremlins had got one of the lights. Mate, I can't see a light go out. I'm looking. Because they thought they were going to have to do it again. No, never mind. They thought they were going to have to do it again. They said, oh, this light's gone out and it's ruined the whole thing. And Joe Dante says, no, don't forget about it. We'll put a sound effect in and make it sound as though they broke one of the lights. Anyway. See, this is the quality extra that TOYG brings to movies. Sarcastic. Anyway, Dick Miller's being racist again. Because the TV's on the fritz, so he's just blaming. He's saying it's because it must be a foreign TV. So he said we should have bought a Zenith. It should have gone to Radio Rentals or Granada or somewhere like that. They're watching Red Skelton. Is that right? Red Skelton show apparently. But I said the Gremlins are on the antenna, or as we call them in the UK, on the aerial. Lol, not sarcasm. Okay. They're on the antenna, aerial, whatever you want to call it. So he's going to go out and check it. He puts his kite on. and goes out, and there we go into this. As I said, this building. Apparently, this is the back of the house. I've never seen it. I've never seen any of the films either. What it a series? I don't know, but the Dennis the Menace films or series, I don't know. I've never seen them. In the UK, Dennis the Menace is a completely different thing to what Dennis the Menace is in America. He's a little blonde-haired kid, isn't he, in America? But in the UK, Dennis the Menace is a comic book character who's got a dog called Nasher. And I think they did a cartoon version of it, but it's totally different. But anyway, this is the back of the house that Dennis the Menace lived in, apparently. That aerial looks kind of like a harpoon or an anchor. Anyway, it's buggered. Anyway, isn't it? It's done in, is that? So he's wondering what's going on, but then he looks round, he hears a noise, and then she hears something as well with her chips in her mouth, crisps. But then the gremlins drive his snowplow out of his garage, almost knocking this tree onto him, and luckily they just stop just in time. Give him a chance to get in the house. But they carry on then and drive into his house and nearly kill some stunt people. There we go. But then, see, we think here now that the Futterman's died, don't we? Because, it's saying, gremlins, gremlins in my cab. Pointing, there you go. And then, it looks like they get run over. So we see the gremlin's eye view in a minute. And we, and then, as though they've splattered them with the snowplow. But we learn that they're not dead because they're in the sequel, aren't they? They go and visit Billy and Kate in New York. So we know that they're not dead. Spoilers. So does anybody die in this film, or are just people severely injured and traumatized by what's going on? The series was black and white, and they made a movie series with Matt out. Oh, and about Dennis the Menace, right? Okay, then. I know they did a more recent one though, because I've seen it. The VHS covers or whatever. Dennis the Menace, little blonde-haired kid, wasn't it? Anyway, probably will work better than ever, that aerial. See how I correctly spell aerial this time. I wasn't going to say anything because you did capitalize it as well. So, but even then, I wouldn't say it's like the Little Mermaid, but she were Ariel with an E, wasn't she? Not at the beginning. Anyway, yes, it probably would work better than ever. Until you let go of it. They always did that in the aerials. You'd like, just stand like this forever. Because as soon as you move, the picture goes off. Or it did in the old days before we had this digital television malarkey. Anyway, this fella's going to post some letters. And he starts putting letters in. Is he like a priest or something? I get that feeling. I don't know, but starts putting his letters in the mailbox, and they keep being thrown back out to him. So he looks in, and whatever's it, we know it's a gremlin in there, obviously tampering with the US mail. Speaking of US mail, or USPS, I've got a parcel coming through by them. Hopefully tomorrow or the day after. But I've got a big Star Wars poster coming. I can't wait. It's going to go on my wall over there. Right there. It's going to go. Oh, you can't see for me fatty. Right there. Fingers crossed. Anyway, that bit makes me think about The Exorcist. What bit? Oh, well, it's throwing the letters out at him. But not pea soup. I remember the days of having to hold the aluminium foil-covered rabbit ears, yes, for my dad to watch football. You were watching football on Sunday, weren't you? You and all the other Joshes, because you weren't watching my news stream. So I joked that you were all watching football and throwing beer at the screen and stuff like that. Being Americans. That's what I was suggesting. Sunday football. I bet that's what we're going on. Anyway, this fella comes on along and decides to shove his whole hand in the mailbox. And then, obviously, the gremlin starts eating his hand. But it's probably not dead. Meanwhile, what's happening here now? Don't know. Can't remember. All hell's breaking loose, but not really. This Gremlin's fannying about with stuff, changing the lights and all that, and having fun. Bright lights, all this sparking and stuff, not bothering him, was it? But never mind. Right. So he's showing Gizmo to the police. See, he's not a fan of the police. You see, Gizmo's going, F the police there. F the police. That's what he's saying. Because he's a radical. Yes, no effing move. Yes, all the Joshes gathered to watch the game. Yes, she did. Instead of coming to learn news. But Sci-Fi Quest were there. There's the Council of Joshes watching American rugby. American rugby. As I said yesterday, it baffles me, does American football. It does. I've tried watching it, but I can't get into it. Sorry. Anyway, so there we go. So they know that this Mogwai's real, and then they say, but how can this cute little thing turn into 1,000 ugly monsters? But then they gets a phone call saying that something's happened with the Futtermans, some accident with a snowplow. There you go. And Billy says, it's the creatures. They're making it look like an accident because that's what they do. And then they just tell him to go home and open his Christmas presents because he's a kid. Meanwhile, at the Deagle residence, hours 10:30 to 11:15, Monday to Friday, 5/5/2001. Is that another sci-fi reference? Probably. But she only works 45 minutes a day. Monday to Friday. Excuse me. So at the Deagle residence, here she's coming down the stairs. She's a cat lady. She's got lots of cats. And all the cats are named after denominations of currency. There we've got ruble. And what else we got? There's one called dollar bill and other stuff. There we go, dollar bill. And others. That's it. She's a crazy old cat lady. She ain't got a wig on because she's at home. And there's a photo somewhere of her husband, her deceased husband, Donald. There he is. That's a photo of her husband. And there's actually a scene in it where something happened. I don't know what. But she looked at the photo. She went, oh, Donald. And they thought, better get rid of that because it kind of makes us sympathise for her and we don't want to because she's a horrible person. So they cut that out. So I think she's hearing Christmas carolers now, I think. Yes, here we are. So originally in this, that she'd go to the door and there'd be the human Christmas carolers singing away and she'd chase them away, say, go away, get off my porch. Can't you read? No soliciting. And then she'd go back in, moan a bit more or pet her cats or whatever. And then she'd hear some more Christmas carolers and then she'd go out and it'd be them. It'd be the Gremlins singing away, going da 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 da, giving it all that. Because she was going to throw some water on them. Thank goodness she didn't. They've had enough water, haven't they? Anyway, sorry, didn't get to my car till about 20 minutes after your stream ended, so I just watched the playback. Oh, thank you very much. I didn't think anybody ever watched it, to be honest. But I still keep doing it. That ruble doesn't look like a Russian blue breed. I don't know. I don't know anything about breeds. Anyway, it's faffing with a Stenner stair lift or Stanner, isn't it? Stanner stair lift. That's what we call them here. It's fiddling with that because obviously there's no electronics. They just know it naturally. So she goes, "What are they?" So she's freaking out. So she gets on a stair lift and off it goes. Like we saw in the trailer. She goes flying up. Obviously, she's not really going up that fast. I think they've what is it? Is it overcranked or undercranked? I think it's undercranked, isn't it? Make it look as though she's going faster. Behave yourself. Oh, right. Yeah. You're being naughty again, aren't you? I'll come and show you off again to people, the ladies and gentlemen. Look, come here. Yes. She's been naughty again, aren't you? Eh? Say hello. Say hello. Ooh. Cat of mine. Surprised it's not a Peltzer stair lift. That'd be ironic, wouldn't it? But it worked perfectly until the Gremlins got their hands on it. Anywho, she goes flying up. There we go. Knocks a portrait of her dead husband, who apparently went to jail or something like that. I think he did. There was some financial misdemeanor that he got in prison for or something. But it goes on a long while, doesn't it? There you go. With his slightly dodgy eyes. And she goes, oh, for God's sake. There you go. She comes flying out, arms waving, out the window. Is she dead? Dunno. She looks it. They say, is that Mrs. Deagle? They go and run off, or whatever they do. Oh, stop doing that. There we go. We see her. You know, is she could just be knocked out for all I know. I don't know. I'm still sticking to that nobody dies in this film. Apart from the Gremlins, obviously. But then they see this Santa covered in gremlins. They say, what's that stuff he's got all over him? What do you mean stuff? It's like little creatures. It's not stuff. Stuff is like eggnog or whatever if you spill on yourself, isn't it? Not like covered in cats. You know, you'd say, what is that all over him? What's that stuff? But anyway. To contribute to yesterday, Rosario isn't black and David was in Clockwork Orange. Oh, okay. She is. Rosario Dawson. She's, isn't she? Anyway, David was in Clockwork Orange. David who? I've forgotten now already. I forgot what stories I did. Anyway, never mind. She is. Anyway. Well, she's a person of colour. That's what I'm trying to say. Rosario Dawson. She's a person of colour. Where were we? Peltzer gremlin-proof inventions. They don't work anyway. No, obviously not. She's Hispanic, Cuban, and Puerto Rican. Oh, well, still a person of colour. That's what they'd say these days. Anyway, right, where were we? Santa Claus. The gremlins are getting him. There we go. The gremlins have been underneath their police car, by the way, fiddling with the brakes. We've seen that as well. Pete's using his catapult and knocking gremlins off his roof and all that. Then they crash their car. There we go. Police car goes over. Luckily, it had it, it's like a skid pan or whatever. They're fine. They're all fine. Oh my, that crashes into there. Presumably, it looks like it explodes, doesn't it? There we go. I'm sure everybody's fine. Oh, Dave Prowse. Oh, yes, he was. Yes, I think he played. He played like a table or something. They sat on him or rested the legs on him. I don't know. I've not seen Clockwork Orange. I've not seen it. I just know of it. I'm sure those that crashed that car just now, I'm sure they were fine. Right, Billy gets in his car and it starts amazingly. What the hell is it? There's a volcano erupted or something. It looks like it, doesn't it? It's like it's not snow, it's ash. But anyway, it's off the go. Gizmo's not looking happy. Are you being naughty again? Where are you? I'm gonna get you, princess. I am. Ooh, I can hear her. Or have I got a gremlin running about? Anyway. Anywho, Rocky Ricky Rialto's getting fed up because gremlins are attacking his studio and all that. It's calling it Orson Welles crap in reference to the 1938 War of the Worlds Mercury Theatre broadcast, obviously. Meanwhile, Rand Peltzer's using the phone to phone home from a Lidom gas station. This is where we meet Kenneth Tobey. Who's been in? They were in The Howling, and they were in a lot of films in the 50s. Stuff like I can't remember. I've forgotten. Were he in them? Might have been. No, he wasn't in them. What were he in? He were in like B movies and stuff, like maybe Deadly Mantis or something like that. I can't remember. But he were in B movies in the 50s. And he were in The Howling as well. He played one of the cops in The Howling. Is that the War of the Worlds that people actually believed was happening? That's the story, isn't it? They did a film about it, didn't they? The Night That Panicked America. But I think it was a bit over-exaggerated. But some people did believe it were a real broadcast. In much the same way that people thought that Ghostwatch in 1992, were real. But, it wasn't. But yes, it's that one. Where were we? Anyway, so he can't get through to home. Obviously, Lynn's at the doctor's and Billy's out doing his stuff. And apparently, this scene was almost entirely what's the word? Not ad-libbed. Well, yeah, ad-libbed. What do they call it now? Made up on the spot. What's the word? Whose line is it anyway? And all that stuff. You know what I mean? It were all ad-libbed. So this is where the introduces us to the Peltzer smokeless ashtray. Anyway, back at Doris Tavern. All the gremlins are having a whale of a time. The bright lights don't seem to be bothering them, and they think there'll be lots of liquids about. It's a tavern. Improvised. Yes, that's the word. Improvised. Yes. Improvisational performance. The 53 film is an amazing classic. It is. The Tom Cruise one, not so much, but it does have its moments. And the series wasn't too bad, although I didn't see it all the way through, but it were okay. That had its moments as well. Anyway, the Gremlins are having fun in Doris Tavern and drinking and stuff. It's not supposed to give them a drink, but they're drinking booze and stuff. So are they going to start having baby gremlins? Maybe they are. Maybe they are all the time. I don't know. It doesn't show us, does it? Maybe they're having little baby gremlins all the time. They made a series. Yeah, haven't you seen the War of the Worlds series? It came out in the early 90s, I think. Late 80s, early 90s, something like that. Yeah, and it was a sequel to the 53 film. The first episode, the pilot episode, shows the Martian war machines from the film. That police department doesn't need smoke grenades. They have Peltzer's smokeless ashtray. Yes, because they do the opposite. Well, do the opposite, wouldn't it, to what it says. Anyway, these gremlins, they're all drinking. There you go, drinking and stuff, not giving birth to baby gremlins. Or maybe they are. It's just not. Maybe it's just not showing us. Maybe that's why there's so many of them. Don't know. But they're all having fun, and Kate's doing her best to keep them at bay. Where's Dory? Don't know. He knows what's best for him. There you go. There's one that's flashing her for some reason, even though it ain't got any, bits and pieces. But anyway, so we're seeing getting all up stuff there. The gambling and the cheating, and there's one dressed up as a woman. That's like foreshadowing of the one that we see in Gremlins 2, maybe. Wingrace says, I'm going to need to go back and find some of these things I probably saw as a kid and then forgot. Yeah, I think I forgot everything. That's it. But see, things I've seen as an adult, I've forgotten. Things I saw last week, I've forgotten. Anyway. There you go, they're gambling, and he's got an ace of spades on his ear because they're cheating, etc. I think he gets shot, that one. Have I missed it? For cheating. Has it gone past it? Look at his all aces, look. He's got 2 aces on his ears, and he's got like 1, 2, 3, 4 aces there, and 2 things, so, Anyway, they're going to start dancing in a minute. Turns on his boom box. Is that what they called him? His ghetto blaster. Oh no, it's not that bit, but it's slow music now, like Sam Spade, film noir music with a bit of Jack Daniels product placement. As this one is thinks is a detective, and then this gremlin comes along. I think this was Steven Spielberg's idea or Joe Dante's. I can't remember which one, but they wanted the puppet to have a puppet on each hand. So that's what's happening here. It's going na 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 na, giving it all that. So it hits it with a hammer like that, boing, and sound effects and stuff. It's all very cartoony. Oh, they're dancing now. Look, there we go. Break dancing, because that was a thing, wasn't it? That was got a big booger. It's just like me, really. So they're all having fun. There you go, hopping about and having fun. There you go, more break dancing. Woo, 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 woo. With a bit of product placement for Marlborough there. Anyway, sorry, I'm missing out on the chat. Second season of that War of the Worlds was really bad. First season was okay. So I think I might not have seen second season. They made it, didn't they? They weren't Martians. They were like from another planet, and other stuff happened. And I didn't see it all, but I remember seeing the start of it, and it were okay. All right, I'll have to Google. Talking about things he's seen. Apparently, this scene is being cancelled of late because of its all racial stereotypes on black people. Is it? That never even occurred to me. It never even occurred to me. I just see him having fun in a pub. Breakdance movies were great, aka breaking. I've never seen a single one of them because it wasn't my thing, you know. Even in the 80s, it wasn't my thing. It was breakdancing and all that scene. Anyway, so they're all having fun. There you go. That bright light's not bothering him, is it? Look. But obviously a match does. There you go. Because she sees one with a cigarette in its mouth, so she holds a match to it, and it doesn't like it. Look, and it like backs off for some reason. So she has the bright idea of getting the Polaroid camera out. There we go. Other Instamatic cameras may be available. I don't know, but she goes taking pictures of them. The end credits of the film should have had these photos on that she's taking, shouldn't they? Not that they've been dog soldiers. Should have done that, shouldn't they? Showing the photos of the Gremlins. Just a thought. So she uses the camera to make the Gremlins go away. By the way, they're watching a bit of ice hockey by the looks of it. So she escapes. One of them's about to shoot her. This one was dressed as a villain, going to shoot her. And misses, but then Billy arrives in his car, so she runs out, and then obviously Billy's car stops working again. They get in his car, throwing cue balls and drinks at it, but it won't won't start. We're gonna have to run for it. Oh, hi, by the way, her bruise. Apparently, it's a bruise that on her cheek. It moves because they're to flip a scene. And I might have gone past it and not realised, so let me just check. It swaps cheeks. It might be later. Yeah, it might be. We'll see. It swaps cheeks later on because they're to mirror a scene for some reason. I don't know why. Anyway, so they've got to make a run for it. So they go running for somewhere. Meanwhile, the town is in chaos now. It's all kicking off. Look, there's people being attacked by gremlins all over the place. There we go. And Joe Dante and Chris Wallace as well, their team, that they loved this particular bit. They couldn't believe it when they filmed this scene, this setup on this big studio lot, because they all came from like low budget filmmaking, independent filmmaking, and they'd never seen anything like this before. Usually just filming on location and stuff like that, and they'd never done anything, like all this, an entire town, going haywire. They'd never done anything like that. And they thought it was amazing, proper filmmaking. Right, so where have they gone? I don't know. They've gone to the bank. That's where they've gone. I don't know why. I can't remember. But this is where she tells her story, which they nearly cut out. But thank goodness they didn't. Where she tells about why she doesn't celebrate Christmas. And her dad had gone missing. He didn't come home from work, and they didn't know why. And days went past. I presume that's the big gizmo that we're seeing. Days went by, and they didn't know where he was. And So they went to light the fire because it was cold, and then they noticed the smell. So the firemen came and smashed through the chimney and expected to pull out a dead bird or whatever, but they pulled out her father. He tried to be Father Christmas. Maybe he was some sort of idiot. I don't know. But he climbed down the chimney. Is that even possible? Obviously, must be. He climbed down the chimney and slipped and broke his neck, died instantly. And so that's why she doesn't celebrate Christmas and also Lincoln's birthday, which we never heard about that one in the second film. There are very few things more satisfying than coming up with a good shot in a movie with no budget and just creativity. Yeah. Say you don't need a huge studio and all that, and a whole street going haywire, But I suppose it's nice if that's available to a filmmaker. But anyway, I think I might do a video, says Sci-Fi Quest, on the day the Earth stood still. Oh, the thing from another world. Both 51 classics. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Klaatu Barada Nikto. What? Klaatu Barada Nikto. And Thing from Another World, obviously. It's inspired John Carpenter's The Thing. But anyway. Hey. Watch the skies. That's how it ends, doesn't it? There we go. Slipped and broke his neck and died instantly. So that's why. Oh, that's how she learned there was no Santa Claus. Anyway, meanwhile, Rand Peltzer's got loads of fags and stuff. Sorry, I can't say that, can I? Loads of cigarettes. That was a genuine slip. Loads of cigarettes for his smokeless ashtray. I think he has, anyway. I'm sure he has. Which obviously isn't doing its job, but because Kenneth Tobey tries to sell it to Mr. Wing later. Not the Keanu version. It's terrible, that. No way. Anyway. Right, so he's getting in the car saying, Barney, move or whatever, shut up or whatever. Right, so suddenly it's all gone quiet. Where have they all gone? What's happened to all the gremlins? Why aren't the people staggering about going, oh, crikey. Don't know. But the street is quiet. There's nobody about. 'Twas the night before Christmas, and nothing stirred in the town of Kingston Falls, except the four assholes in the front and, I don't know, standard 4x4 formation. That's Die Hard, isn't it? Right, so they're wondering where they've all got to, and they realise they've gone someplace dark. That's what he says, and it's there we go. They're in the movie theatre where Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is playing, and coming soon apparently is The Howling. But that's we'll see that poster in a minute. Oh, Milky Way refreshments. Anywho, so they're going, and there they are. All the gremlins are in the movie theatre. They did this. It's not a single shot, I think they did it in sections because they didn't have enough puppeteers to do all the gremlins. So they did like this section and then that section, and they did them all separately and then composited them together. Are you being naughty again? She is. Right, bear with me. To go out. Come on, then. Go on. Go on. Go on, you winner. Go on. You go in. You go in. You don't want to go out, do you? Because you're a cheeky monkey. No. Oh, yes, are you hungry? Right, here, have some of this. In the middle of a show, Princess. Do you know that? Eh? In the middle of a show, you're distracting me. You're worse than him up there. Come on, kid. Blooming cat. That blooming cat of mine, I tell you. Anywho, where were we? Towards the night before Christmas, and all through the town, not a person was breathing, not even Mrs. Deagle. Although I'm contending that nobody dies. We have different Milky Way candy bars too. Milky Ways are very nice in the UK. Soft fondant centres. It's the sweet you can eat between meals without ruining your appetite. That was the commercial slogan for Milky Ways over here. You have different Cadbury too. Yours is made by Hershey, isn't it? I don't know. Cadbury's the best chocolate in my opinion. But anyway, right. So here we go. They're all kicking off. As I said, these were all filmed separately because they didn't have enough puppeteers to do the whole theatre. So they filmed them all separately and then optically, composited them. So there we go, and added some other visual effects because I think one swings across, doesn't it? I'm going to see it. One swings across in a minute with a never mind, with a sound effect. These are getting a projector working. Oh, here it goes. There we go. I think that's added. Optically added. I can't say digitally because this was before the digital age, wasn't it? So it's an optical effect. Your Milky Way we call Three Musketeers, and I think our Milky Way is what you call a Mars bar. All right. Okie dokie. Mars bars make you work, rest, and play, or help you work, rest, and play. But we've still got Snickers. We've got Snickers that are the same as yours, but only from 1990. Anywho, so they eventually get a projector working and start playing. Is it Reel 4 of Snow White? Look, they're all watching because they're all the dwarfs. Can I say that? They're going to start singing "Hi Ho." Obviously, it's skip past, because it's stupid. They all start singing, "Look, hi ho, it's off to work we go," and they're loving it because they love it. They're watching Snow White and they love it. There we go. So watching that. So they sneak round the back of the screen, and they're going to go down into the basement. Meanwhile, is this supposed to be Stripe? Is it? I don't know. It didn't look like him, did it? I think it was supposed to be. He's going to go off and find something to eat, or maybe maybe Stripe had just gone, and that was just watching. But they're going to go down into the basement. There's Stripe looking for some candy. Yum yum. But it sees in the department store across the way a sign, because obviously they can read, even though they've only just been born, but they can read candy. So they must be born with, like they go how old. They have, what's the word? Innate intelligence. They're born with the knowledge of all gremlins, mogwai, whatever. So there we go. Yes, it is. It's Rachel Zegler's Snow White, because that's the only one that exists. Anyway, Billy's going to do this. He's turning on the gas main, and then he's lighting a bit of paper. And I think in reality, that it'd probably go out before it ignited the whole place up, because you've got to have a lot of gas, haven't you, to blow something up. But anyway, have I missed it? Hang on, there we go. The projector runs out of film. It just goes to white, obviously, and then they see Billy, and there we go. See Billy and Kate behind the screen. Look, oh no! And then we cut. Oh, Reel 4. And then we cut to what they call it, a animated bit of Gremlins. We're going to see it in a minute as they all head to the screen. There we go. This is animated, done by Peter Curran, who's done lots of special effects, like like The Thing. He did the opening intro in The Thing and stuff like that. The John Carpenter's The Thing. There we go. So that's an animated Gremlins. And then it cuts to actual Gremlins cutting through. There we go. The screen with I think they said they put scalpels in the fingernails to do that effect. Genetic memory or access to Akashic records. Yes, that exactly. The Blob. Did he do that as well, Peter Curran? Did he? He's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff. But he did that. Anyway, they're all chasing Billy and Kate in the movie theatre. This is the train of gremlins. I think that's how they describe it in the commentary. There's had a load of gremlin puppets, presumably with their puppeteers, on a low load or whatever they call it. They just dragged them down this corridor. There you go. That's what they did. So they get out, lock them in. Luckily, that paper doesn't go out. And as they watch, it all blows up. Boom! So there we go. Is that the end of the gremlins? It shows them all burning inside, or it would do. If it didn't skip over it, for Christ's sake. He's not happy. Look. Go on, show us. Go on, show us. It shows inside the gremlins dying, essentially. But for some reason, it skipped over it. Or just... Is it going to show it? No. Why has it skipped over it? Stupid bloody thing. The movie theatre explodes. Tell it, bloody hopeless, this thing. Oh, there we go. And inside, the gremlins are burning to death. I'm sure Billy's mother would relish this scene. She'd like it. Billy's mother's favourite bit. And there's one with a mask on because, it fears COVID, obviously. Another explosion. There we go. And that's just to finish them off. And there is actually a howling poster inside, but I think we've skipped past it. I've not noticed. But another Joe Dante film, by the way. I think it said coming soon, The Howling, but The Howling came out like 4 years before this, or 3 years before this came out. Anyway, the notice Stripe. I keep calling it Spike, and it's Stripe, isn't it? I think. Is it Spike or Stripe? I can't really remember now. Stripe. I keep calling him Spike. Why? Because I'm an idiot. Anyway. You've just convinced me this group of gremlins is the result of a failed UNAS Gold hybrid. Oh, sorry, UNAS. For some reason, I don't like the SG1 UNAS episodes. I always skip them. I don't know why. I must be a UNASist. But anyway. I've never liked him. I don't know why. So, they see Stripe, not Spike. I keep calling it Spike. Stripe in the department store. So Billy smashes this window. Apparently, we're told, don't smash the candy neon light. I think they said it's a rental. Like a prop rental or something. Said, don't smash it. Smash the window. Don't smash the light. So he ignores them and smashes the light. Look, there we go. Did they take it out of his salary? Maybe they did. Anyway. Shaka. I don't know. Is that some UNAS speech? I don't know because oh my, the one called that one that I think. I don't know because I always skip them episodes. I don't like. I think the Spike and Stripe confusion is actually a Mandela effect. It is now. It is now. The only UNAS episode I really enjoy is the first one with James Earl Jones. I can't remember that one. That's how memorable they are to me. Was it James Earl Jones? What, as the UNAS? I can't remember it. Is that the one that they found in... Was it like Thor's hammer or something, where they got transported somewhere where it... I can't remember. I don't know. Or was it like a cave or something, wasn't it? Thor's hammer. Yes, that's Thor. Yes, Thor's hammer. Yes. See, all right. He plays the voice of the UNAS. All right. Jack, I am the first UNAS. Anyway, right. So in they go to the department store to find Stripe before he can get to water, and it all starts all over again. That's what he says. Meanwhile, Stripe's on a skateboard with his candy. There we go. Cool. Going. Right. So there they go. The kissing because they're falling in love and all that stuff. So he's got to go and find Stripe. She's got to find the control room and do stuff, turn lights on, whatever. I don't bloody know. But she's got to keep Gizmo safe. So off they go. So she starts turning records on. Figure control record, something hypnotism by Dr. Dante, as in Joe Dante, presume. Kill him and we shall feast. Is this from Unas again? Or are we on about this? All right. Billy obviously can't tell the difference between real life and a TV screen because he sees that and smashes the telly. Because maybe he just thinks he's Keith Moon. Let's pretend to be the Who. Oh dear. And then go on, smash all the others up. No, he's realised now, hasn't he? But obviously, Stripe, well, we're just there on this camera, and we can hear him, his little pitter patter of his feet as he runs away. Right, she gets the control room, and she's pressing buttons and turning things on, lights are coming on, and all that stuff. He walks past these toys. We've got a bit of Bugs Bunny, a bit of Sylvester, and an E.T. because it's a Spielberg production. And there he is hiding amongst the plushies. Gets shot loads and reveals that Unas are actually predators. Yes, I can't remember. I always skip the Unas episodes. I do. And I think what were it? A Christmas when we did the Christmas horror story last week or whenever it was, one of the actors in there had been in Stargate. I think he were in an Unas episode. The fellow that had the land where the trolls lived and the changelings. Him, I think he played the baddie human in the episode where they'd like enslaved Unases. Just a coincidence. Anywho, right. What she's switching on things is Kate, and this water feature illuminates and turns on. Which Stripe notices soon, but Billy is entering sporting goods section or whatever. I don't know. He's entering this section, and the plate throwing gremlin is now throwing saw blades at him. But obviously changed the head on it. It's not going to show it, is it? Bloody trying to skip it. No, never mind. Obviously, it didn't really throw one at him. It sort of like came out from behind, from the other side of the wall, but it just looked like it threw it at him. It wasn't product placement, honest. Michael Rooker was in an Unas episode. You probably didn't know he was in Stargate. Lol. I've seen it, just once. I do remember that one actually. He played one of the SG teams, didn't he? Like the major or the commander of an SG team, didn't he? I think. But the one where the Unas were taking out his team. Was it one of them? I'll have seen it. Anyway. What's she doing? Right. So Billy's still looking for Stripe, and now Stripe's firing baseballs at him. And then he comes at him. Hang on, where are we? Wow, that light puts him off, and he runs away. But then he comes back with a. Has he got the chainsaw now? Or is that? No, it's not the chainsaw bit yet. It's the. He's got the crossbow, so he's firing crossbow bolts at Billy, and he gets him in. Has he got him in the arm yet? He shoots him in the arm. No, so hang on. Oh, that's it. Yeah, shot him in the arm. You can see there, it's crossbow bolt in the arm, and then he's going to shoot him again. And Billy picks up the ghetto blaster and shoots that, and it explodes for some reason because ghetto blasters are filled with explosives, apparently. I mean, is it plugged into the mains? I mean, if it was like batteries in it, wouldn't give it all that, would it? But never mind. Must be the only sporting goods store in the US without guns, except it's not because Stripe finds a gun, doesn't he? But you'd think there'd be rifles, loads of rifles, wouldn't you? Hunting rifles. Unas were taking out his team, so Daniel brought in his friend Unas from another world, and they forged an alliance where the Unas mine for us. There you go. So we're using him as not slaves, but indentured servitude, essentially. Ghetto blasters usually have C4 in them, yes. That's if Q makes them. I call that a ghetto blaster. What was that in now? Was that Spy Who Loved Me or was that Moonraker? One of the others. I can't remember which one. Anyway, so what's happening here? Right, throws the ghetto blaster at Stripe. So he runs away. So Billy's got a minute, but then he comes back. Is it with the chainsaw now? Yes, he's got the chainsaw now. Luckily, Billy has a baseball bat that's impervious to chainsaws. Luckily, this chainsaw just has a rubber blade. They said that in the commentary. So it's got a rubber blade, but I still won't want to be hit by it. So that's why it's not making much damage to the baseball bat. Meanwhile, Gizmo's driving a Barbie car. Because they're trying to cash in on the recent success of the Barbie film back then. No ghetto blasters in Acolyte. No, nothing in Acolyte, is it? It's all bare hand. What was it? What did we say? Jedi Fu fighting or whatever we said. I can't remember what we said now, did we? Anyway, so he's driving around. He's remembering his film he watched. A guy needs a certain kind of dame. His Clark Gable film we were watching earlier on. Remembering that. So, Kate's turning on all the lights. She finds the fuse box and she starts switching on the lights. And just in time, she switches these lights on. Blinds Stripe, and he falls over, and the chainsaw drags him away. Look, wee. Just make sure we're still going. Yep, and yep. 2 hours and 51 minutes we've been going. Crikey Moses. Anywho, it's that cat that's been distracting me. That's what it is. Forceful, that was it. Forceful, yes. And this scene must have inspired Small Soldiers. That's another Joe Dante film, isn't it? I've only seen that one once. My son's got it on DVD. And I can't remember much about it. But I do remember Archer. Why the hell would they lock the light switch box? I have no idea. I mean, it's only the fuses, isn't it? It should be easy to get to. Yes, blame the cat, not us. Yes, it's the cat's fault. She's still lurking about somewhere. I don't know where she is. She's still lurking. She doesn't want to go out. I don't know why. But anyway. Right. So, there we go. It hits its head, does a cartoon sound effect, and giving it all that. It's a bit of fun. Then it sees the fountain, and hang on. There you go. It sees the fountain, and then it sees in the water, and then it sees in this case a gun. Is it? Obviously, it's a real gun, but it don't look real. It looks like Eddie Valiant's cartoon gun, doesn't it? From Who Framed Roger Rabbit. But anyway, it gets this gun. Right, so he's arrived back in town as Rand Peltzer and Barney is wondering what's going on. Barney sees what's obviously his keen dog senses and knows what's going on in this department store because there's only one shopping day left to Christmas. So he knows what's going on. So he jumps out and heads into the... oh, by the way, the Marines are standing by with fire hoses. Oh, God. That'd be a disaster, wouldn't it? Anyway, is it snowing there? Had some here. No, it's not snowing here. Hang on, let me have a look. I don't think it is. No, no snow. No snow. But you're down south, aren't you? But I'm up north. Only a 38, nothing to worry about. Where were we? Marines are standing by with fire hoses. By the way, this is rocking Ricky Rialto on the radio telling us this, and thankfully it gets sorted out before the Marines can make it worse with fire hoses. Anyway, Barney runs into the store, and Rand Peltzer follows him. When he's ready. Meanwhile, Gizmo's driving about, frightens poor Barney to death. Beep beep. Woof, woof. And actually, I think something happens here because that goes down there, and the dog comes running down here. But I think you can see something going on over here. Let me have a look. See, stop! He's going backwards and he's going forwards again. Right, that's what he was doing. Right. So Billy's still looking for Stripe, but Stripe starts shooting at him. Look, that was the slowest bullet ever. That, wasn't it? It took it about a second and a half to reach that plant pot. So he's shooting away, and then he sticks his finger in the fountain and starts gestating eggs. It was good in the sequel, wasn't it, where it showed them? Because it was Stan Winston did the creature effects, didn't he, in the sequel in Gremlins 2? That was good, where it showed like little gremlins growing inside, wasn't it? But obviously that's not happening here because they didn't have that sort of money. Sci-fi questions. I'm no expert, but how do they explain the snow not affecting the gremlins? Is snow not made of water? Exactly. The same in the bar. Bars have got lots of liquids in, haven't they? So they were drinking and everything. So why weren't there loads of little gremlins running about? As I said, maybe there were. That's why there were so many of them. And why were all the gremlins, every single one of them, in the movie theatre? Dunno. Maybe that the Stripe must have called to them because he's the leader. He'd have gone, hello, and called to him, and they all met him at the movie theatre. Anyway, he's growing more gremlins on his back. So it's all going to go wrong. But, that's a nice pause, that, isn't it? Gizmo drives his Barbie car, as I said, cashing in on the current success of Barbie, and drives it up a snow shovel, and there we go, and for some reason explodes. I don't know how, but he's fine. And then I think he's still got his gun, I think, as Stripe. Oh, I nearly said Spike, didn't I? And he sees a Gizmo caca, and he's going to shoot him, I think. I think he is. But Gizmo gets to this. He's still got the gun, look. I think you can see the. Hang on, let's have a look. There's one bit of it that might be later. But Gizmo gets to the thing for the light. The what they call it, the skylight, whatever. Gets to that. He's been Peter Cushing in Dracula. That's what he's been. When Peter Cushing runs across the table and pulls the drapes down and sunlight floods onto Dracula. This is that scene. And but anyway. I have a question. They all wanted to see Rachel Zegler, obviously. Oh, yes, that's why they went to see Snow White. Yes, because that's the only Snow White that we should know about. Gremlins Cree. What does Cree mean? Well, it can mean lots of things, can't it? I saw the wire on the gun. Yeah, there's another scene where you see lots of wires from its head. Might have missed it. Anyway, so what's his face? I forgot his name now. Gizmo activates the blind, and the sunlight comes streaming in, and everybody shoots, misses him. Oh, poor Gizmo. But then the sunlight comes streaming in. It doesn't look to be shining on the gremlin on Stripe, but obviously it is. It must be. So he's freaking out. Look, I'm melting. Does he say that? I know one of them says it in Gremlins 2. I don't know. It's a puppet. That's a Brian Connolly joke, isn't it? Is it Connolly? Connolly, whatever. It's a puppet. There he is, melting away. There was a scene earlier on where you could see wires on it, but I've missed it. Never mind. There's a good old mushroom. Sorry, Barney. So, all right, he dropped into the water. Did Stripe, and then he does one last jump scare where he goes up to him and jumps out, but then he just melts. He just melts into gloop. And that's the end of Stripe. Thank goodness. Gordon the Gopher. I used to have one of them back in the day. And I was grown up as well when I got one. I didn't care. I used to take it to work. But anyway, that's by the by. Windgrace doesn't know what we're talking about now because it's a British thing, Gordon the Gopher. This stream might be longer than the double features. Yes, I could have done Gremlins 2 as well. Anyway. So that's the end of Stripe. There he is. It's all good. And going, wah. So the music's doing. So anyway, they bugger off. They bugger off home and go back to the Peltzer residence with Lou Landers on the news, playing Jim McCrell playing Lou Landers. I think the same character from The Howling, another Joe Dante film. But not, he's with Channel 6, not with KDHB, is it? I think it was KDH. No, hang on. No, yeah, might be KDHB, whatever. I had one too. Wish I still had it. Yes, they were cool with Gordon the Gophers. Squeak, squeak. Nope, only Gophers I know are from Pooh and Caddyshack. But you had to Google Gordon the Gopher. It was from I can't actually remember now. What it Going Live. I think there's like a Saturday morning kids show. In the UK, we used to have Swap Shop, which I watched, which were on the BBC, and ITV's version was Tiz Was. But then after Swap Shop finished, I think they went to a show called, I think it was Going Live. There might be one in between. But anyway, Saturday Superstar. It might have been Saturday Superstar with Mike Reed. I think that was the Gordon the Gopher one, I think. Anyway, so there we go. It were all good fun. Anyway, so it's where we learn about the riots and hysteria and talking about little green men. And so, it's a big cover-up. It's all a conspiracy. Just like the aliens in Miami. They're covering that up, aren't they, right now? That's a big cover-up. 10-foot-tall aliens walking around in Miami and nobody's seen anything apart from... pardon me. Nobody's phone camera saw them anyway. But they're all saying, oh, we saw them. We saw these 10-foot-tall aliens, but my phone didn't work for whatever reason. Anyway. Oh, there we go. Convicted stock swindler Donald Deagle. I knew we'd done something wrong. There we go. So anyway, so everything's all back to normal and everything's lovely. It says, you bet you'd like some chicken soup. She turns around and Mr. Ping's there. Not Ping. Wing. Sorry. I'm getting into trouble with this stream, I tell you. If I were monetized, I wouldn't be anymore, would I? I mean, I said fags earlier on, didn't I? And I meant cigarettes. Hey, perception filter. Yes, that's what it is. Yes, those aliens in Miami. Anyway, Mr. Wing arrives. Hang on, where are we? With his scary white eye. Burning like fire. So then she says, oh, this is the gentleman who sold me the mogwai. He says, sold, an interesting choice of words, and throws the money down on the couch. And takes the mogwai, takes Gizmo back. Says, I believe there was a box. I should voice over, shouldn't I? For like, Chinese and Japanese, dubbing. I am the new Burt Cook. Anyway, so they give him the box. So he's taking Gizmo away and he's saying, there we go. With Mogwai comes much responsibility. You are not ready and all that. You waste all of nature's gifts, blah, blah, blah. Which apparently this was kind of improvised as well, this scene. And apparently this was the scene that they were filming with the improvised, that wanting the script. But this was the day that Chris Columbus, the writer, the screenwriter and his family or something visited the set on the day that they just basically threw his script out. But so there we go. They didn't say in the commentary if he were pleased or not. The broom cupboard. I have no idea what you're on about. Yes, you could dub all of Godzilla -1. I still not seeing that. Anyway. Right, so it takes Gizmo. Oh, and it says Gizmo, Papa, and he wants to say something to Billy. It says, "Oh, you can understand him." He says, "To understand, one has only to listen." So he opens the box up and he goes, "Bye, Billy." And in the commentary, they were saying, it gets it. Bye, Billy. Yes, it gets it done. He's going. You don't want him coming out and going, 70 years and 10 ago. But, but we've heard him speaking all the way through the film, so I don't know why Billy's surprised. Anyway, I'm waiting for the black and white version of Godzilla -1. I don't see the point, to be honest. But anyway, why not watch it in colour? If it is available in colour, why not watch it in colour? Although, I must admit, a few years ago, I did like an experiment. I know it's not a real one, but I watched some films, colour films in black and white. Just turn the colour off on my telly. I know, no, it's not the way. That's not all they do when they do black and white versions. They've got to, do it properly, essentially. But I just turned the colour off, and I watched stuff like Blade Runner. Blade Runner is really good in black and white. There you go. And I watched some others as well. I can't remember what. We're on my Facebook page, but it was years ago. But Blade Runner is surprisingly impressive in black and white. Anyway, so it's taking. Tries to give him a smokeless ashtray. Says, to give you this, there's a saying sorry and all that. He says, smokeless ashtray. Man at gas station. Try sell me one. So he takes it, but I don't know if it's there in Gremlins 2. I'm gonna have to watch Gremlins 2 and see if it is. In his store, because his store's at the beginning of Gremlins 2, in it. Anyway, so he takes that. So off he goes into the snowy night, and are they at the Griswold house? But I don't know. So off he goes, walking off into a matte painting. It is a very nice Christmassy matte painting, I must admit. I could put that on a Christmas card with, season's greetings over there in gold script. But he walks off, and apparently, in the the full version, I suppose, before they stuck the credits on at the end, he carried on walking and kind of blended into the mat, because you can see the line there where the mat begins, and he just walked round the corner, just blended into the mat. And I think Chris Wallace, or one of the Wallace team, said they should have left that in because it looks like he supernaturally vanishes, some Chinese magic or whatever. But no, it fades out. Then we get a voiceover from Rand Peltzer saying, if your air conditioning goes on the fritz or your washing machine blows up, check all the cupboards, lock all the doors, because you never know. You might have a gremlin in your house. There you go. And then it cuts to the din 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 din, etc. So there we go. So that's the end. Cool film. One of the best films, I must admit. 1984 was a good year, wasn't it? What did we have in 1984? We had Gremlins, Ghostbusters. What else did we have in 84? Because I've heard people say there's 82, isn't there, which were the year of Blade Runner and Star Trek 2 and E.T. and The Thing and loads of other films. And 84 were a good year as well, wasn't it? Do we have Star Trek 3 in 84? Although some people don't like that, but I really like Star Trek 3. Amongst others. Where are we? Is Strange New Worlds good in black and white, I wonder? Yes, it is. It is very good in black and white and colour too. Anywho, so that's it. That's the end of Gremlins. Right. So we'll leave it. It's a great film. Great film. One of the best. Yes, Star Trek 3 is good. I don't believe all this, the odd-numbered Star Trek films are rubbish, because they're not. They're all good. I like them all. apart from the J.J. Abrams ones. I mean, like the proper Star Trek films. That's what I'm trying to say. Didn't we get Supergirl in 83? Or was that 84? I presume we mean 84 there, not 64. Yeah. 84, not 64. I can't remember now. I can't remember. But I quite like Supergirl as well. And I've got Helen Slater's autograph twice. Well, I've got it once. Aiden's got it twice. But anyway. The only one I have issues with on a Star Trek going now. The only one I have issues with is Star Trek 5, and only because I find parts boring. It's not bad. I love Star Trek 5. For all its faults, you know, the misnumbering of the decks and wrong direction and, you know, loads of other stuff. But I do enjoy Star Trek 5, I must admit. And it's got my favourite scene in all of Star Trek, the campfire scene with the row, row, row your boat. I love that. It's great. Anywho, right. So we've done. We're going to leave it there. Hang on. Gonna leave it there. So what's coming up next? Behave you. What's coming up next is Princess being naughty. That's what it is. I can see you with your big eyes. Friday, appointment with fear. I've forgotten again what it is. It's Friday night. That's what we're doing. Friday night. Oh, hang on. It had the best McCoy scene ever. You know about where probably the best the acting is done with his dad and all that. Yes, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? That because they found a cure shortly after his dad died. But yes, probably the best McCoy scene ever. Speaking of Roddenberry, it's today or yesterday or whenever, when he had his ashes or some of his ashes shot into space. That got mentioned to me earlier on today, but I don't know. And it showed Scotty new ship like the back of his hand. Dong. Yes, it did. Yeah. Didn't like that bit. But yeah, well, that were fine. I didn't like how he suddenly were in a relationship with Uhura. It was almost as jarring as having a relationship with Spock in the JJ films. But anyway, whatever. Oops, pressing the wrong button. Right, I'm going to leave it there. So, what's coming up next? Wednesday, I'll have my news stream, fingers crossed. Friday, we're doing Friday night on Friday Night Appointment with Fear. Oh, where's my disc? There it is. There it is. Friday night. The 1985 Friday night, not the David Tennant one, the original with Chris Sarandon and William Ragsdale and Roddy McDowall and who else? Amanda Bierce and Stephen Jeffries. Cool film, the directorial debut of Tom Holland, not Spider-Man, the other Tom Holland. Right, so that's on Friday. So we'll leave it there. Hang on. I guess it didn't work out since it didn't mention her at all in Relics. Yes, probably, you know, it hurt still. It still hurt. But he liked when she bought him bags of crisps. Oh, dear. Why can't a man and a woman be friends without becoming a relationship? Watch When Harry Met Sally. It answers it in that. Doesn't it? Sex always gets in the way, apparently. Just not with me. Anyway, right. So we'll leave it there. So thanks, Win Grace, and thanks, Sci-Fi Quest. And we had Josh Temple early on, didn't we? But maybe he's just lurking, but he did pop in earlier on with his harpoon. I'm sure he was there. Did I dream it? No, he's there. Look, Josh Temple is there. Look, I knew I didn't dream it. He was there early on. It's probably busy. Sci-Fi Quest says, see you in the next one, pal. Take care. Yes. And everybody subscribe to Sci-Fi Quest. Ooh, did I freeze up then? I'll start that again. Everybody subscribe to Sci-Fi Quest and to Win Grace. Search on YouTube for Win Grace Project and Sci-Fi Quest. And give them both a subscribe and watch their videos and all that stuff. Winggrace says Picard and Data can't be friends without becoming more, according to Picard. Yes. Yes, he look. I love your beautiful face. I hated that. Take care, y'all. Yes, you all take care, and I'll see you next time. I'll probably be back tomorrow doing a live playthrough of me Assassin's Creed Mirage. Probably. Right. So we'll leave it there. So thanks for watching, wherever you are. Oh, hang on. I tell you, as soon as the bloody going, people say things. Oh, it's saying later. He's saying later, this sci-fi quest. Right. I'm going. So thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other. And until next time. Hang on, I haven't got you ready a message. Hang on. I thought I'd pressed it. I thought I'd hidden it. There we go. And until next time, I'll see the thumbs up and all that. My thumb dirty. Ew.